Okay, everybody, here we go. So, anyway, right now she's getting a little drink and she's getting prepared to come in. And what I have for you tonight, I don't know if you guys watched Kevin Samuels last night, but what I have for you tonight, this is the ninth caller who called into Kevin Samuels' show, and she wanted to talk about whether or not she feels that the what is it called, the 3 date rule is good or not. And Kevin Samuels, as you know, he shut that down real quick because he didn't want to talk about that. At least he didn't want to talk about it there. So ultimately, what happened was she spoke for a real quick second, and then he cut her off as he usually does. And once she was cut off, I somehow found her and I said, you know what? I want to have her on. I want to host her. So what ended up happening was she normally does a Saturday show. And on her Saturday show that she does with her Facebook and her StreamYard, she had a panel of guests that I said, okay, I'll be a part of your panel and then I'll bring you onto my channel and I'll show you to my people, and you could talk about what your experience was like, and you could talk about how you feel about that 3 date rule. So at this point, she's just getting a drink of water. When she comes back, she's going to show us the portion of her being on the Kevin Samuels show, and she's going to tell us a little bit about herself, and then she's going to tell us about the 3 date rule, and then we're just going to hash it out, talk about it in relationship to the manosphere and why we're all here. So I know there's already 15 of you here because I just hit the live button. So there's 15 of you guys. I do have one other guy who's waiting to get added. But I wanted to have her explain it first. So she's going to take us through the video clip. And right after that, then we'll have a little discussion. But she's already been on for a while, so she's not going to stay very long. So I'm not going to keep her very long. And originally I was going to start at 6, but we went over on the other discussion, so now I'm starting at 7. Okay, go ahead. So why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Annie, and I live in the UK.
Okay, you live in the UK. So tell us just a little bit about yourself, Annie. You're married, you have children, I believe you said.
Yes, I have children and I have one grandchild.
Okay, how long you been married?
I'm no longer married. I was married for 22 years. I got separated 5 years ago, and I'm with somebody else now, and I've been with him for 5 years. So I've never been single.
Okay, that sounds awesome. So, okay, before I ask you anything else, I'll let you take us through the video real quick. So, let me give you the video screen. Okay, go right ahead.
So, do I press play?
You push play, and I think what you might have to do is you may have to mute yourself so I don't hear feedback from your side. So, you'll mute yourself, but it should play.
Okay.
If there's a problem, I'll tell you.
So.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see if there's an echo. Okay, turn up the volume. I guess on your on the video. I think.
One minute. I think we may have gone.
Weren't you the 9th caller?
I think so. I'm just trying to. Let's. Right. I come immediately.
Yeah, I thought you were the 9th caller.
How do I know which?
But if you went back 70 years ago and looked at the nurses then, you would probably.
Okay, so I'm the next one. Hold on.
Yeah, I believe you were the 9th. Yeah.
Here we are.
That's you. Okay. All right. So I think you have to turn your volume on something up. Try turning up the volume on the YouTube movie. Because I'm hearing it, but it's low.
Right. Oh, right. Here's the volume. Oh, it's on the highest.
It's already at the highest. Yeah. I'll tell you what. Turn up your speakers and leave yourself unmuted, and we'll see if there's an echo or not.
Okay. So. It's your StreamYard. I don't know how to do it. Oh, no. Should I mute myself?
No. Push play and then turn your speaker volume up.
Right. So it's on play now.
disagreement? First of all, how old are you? All right, so what's your conflict?
So your speakers, can you turn the speakers on your computer up, I think? Not the YouTube, but your speakers on the computer.
Okay. It's on the high. Oh, okay, 1 minute.
Okay, so what
That's it. That's it.
She shouldn't be accepting a date. So there is that premise that she should find him attractive, and that when they go for dates, they could spread the dates out. So, and you said it could be spread out over a month or two. But I still feel that even if they spread it out over 2 months, it's not enough for you to know, especially if
know what? Know what?
Do me a favor, Annie. Stop it. Just push stop real quick. Okay, yeah, because and that, once again, I talked to you about this because I'm not sure. I just want to make sure we don't play it for too long and they try to go a copyright or something. So basically, just to let everybody know, last night Kevin Samuels had what he calls the smoke show. So basically, his smoke show is where he basically invites women on the channel who have a problem with him, so he can summarily execute them one by one. Basically, it's like stretching out your neck and having your head chopped off. So right here, Annie decided that she wanted to go on and she disagreed with him about the 3-date rule. Now, just so you understand where she is on this, I'm not going to play it much longer because the thing about it is, Annie, you already get the idea. The point was, Kevin Samuels says that after 3 dates, that a high-value man basically expects a woman to probably be putting out sex after that 3 dates. Annie called in and she says she thinks that that's not a good idea for young women. I'm going to let Annie explain why. Go right on ahead, Ann.
Okay, so my view is that for any woman who's over 25, she probably has enough experience and self-awareness to make decisions. And for somebody over 25 who's not a virgin, in my view, has the autonomy to make their decisions. And if they want to have sex with a man at 3 days, that's their business. But I felt that the advice was dangerous for younger women who are between the ages of 18 and 25, because most of those women don't have experience. They don't know how to deal with much older men. Many of them are just out of home or out of school. And if we're giving them this message that they should only go out for 3 days, for 3 dates, and that they're expected to have sex, for me, that is, in my view, coercing women probably to have sex before they're ready to. And as someone who worked for a university and young children at the university, 18 to 22, what I found with a lot of girls was that when they were coerced to have sex with men, they were not forced, but they felt under pressure because the guy's like, oh, if you like me, you'll have sex and all that kind of thing. They would have the sex and then they'll come to me for counseling, because most times they felt regret. Most times they felt the guilt that they had done something that their parents wouldn't like. They hadn't learned how to set their own boundaries because they were still too young to have the mental fortitude to set boundaries and stick to them. And I think that young girls like this are still very impressionable. So they shouldn't be expected to have sex with men for dinner. After 3 dates. That was what I was trying to say. And the other thing is that when women have sex, they the body emits a hormone called serotonin, which makes the woman attached to the guy that she's had sex with. Now, we know that men don't get emotional about sex. It's not because they're horrible people, but they just don't have the same high levels of serotonin that women have. And so it's easy for them to have casual sex. It's easy for them to divorce sex from emotion. But women don't usually. Okay, I know that we have the new age girls that do, but in general, from a physiological point of view, women do not divorce sex from their emotions. They get very attached to the men that they have sex with. That's my view. And because of that, I think they need more time to get, especially if they're relationship minded, if they want to get married, if they want to be a housewife, if they want to be traditional, they need more time to know the guy, to know his family, to know whether he's relationship minded, to learn about him, and then they can decide to have sex. My view is also that during this courting stage, if they're dating a man that doesn't have a lot of money, it's okay for him not to take her out to dinner. They can go out for a walk. They can go out buy sandwiches. They can go out for a picnic. But a man who has money, high value men usually have a budget for dating anyway. And so them spending that money on their love interest, if they're really serious about the woman, in my view, shouldn't be a problem. Okay.
Now on Annie's stream, just to let everybody know, right now we have 41 people. I guess we're gaining more. It's a Saturday, so a lot of people may not be in. But to Annie's point, I brought up a couple of things in her channel. Number one, I brought up, Kevin Samuels himself pulled up an article or whatnot, or he at least mentioned an article that says that there's some women who are using men for dates. Specifically, they're going out with men that they have no intention of being sexually active with, for one. And then I specifically tried to call her panel's attention to the fact that Kevin Samuels was specifically speaking about quote-unquote high-value men, which are basically men who are so wealthy that they don't really care what the woman is thinking. She's just there to placate to his needs. So now, a lot of the females on the last panel, or there were two of them, and a lot of the ones that were in the comments, they didn't like the fact that the way we were talking about it, we were basically saying that, listen, it's the man who has the leverage here because he's the high value man. And if you don't cater to him, chances are he's going to replace you and you won't be able to easily replace him. So that was, I believe, where he was coming from. I don't think he was talking to women who are seeking regular or average men. But the point ultimately is, when I think about myself, when I go out on dates, I'm a product of the 80s. In the 80s, we were basically socially conditioned to believe that a man is supposed to be the one who's providing the dinner, the date, and he might get some action later on, but that number one, he shouldn't expect it, he shouldn't force it, he shouldn't try to coerce it, and chances are he might get something if he's a good enough date, but there's always a possibility that, she may want to wait or that she's worth holding out for. And there's also the possibility that the man himself might have just wanted to go out for a date. Maybe he wasn't looking for sex. But the question is whether or not women should, in general, be expected to put out after 3 dates.
So why is a man actually... I think men take women out for 2 reasons. Or they have 2 compartments in their heads for women. A man who wants to marry a woman and wants her long term puts her into compartment 2. And then there's the man who just wants to have sex. Okay? Men who just want to have sex tend to go for girls who are readily available to have sex. And even rich men who want to have sex have their mistresses or their sugar babies or whatever it is. But when it comes to marriage or long-term relationship and they're looking for the woman who's going to have their kids, they don't really lead with sex because they know that when they marry you, they're going to have sex with you 100 times a day if they want to. So they don't really front load the sex because they know they're going to get you anyway and they're going to marry you. So my view is that if a man is leading with sex, it's usually because that's what is on his mind. And I've met both. Okay, as a young lady before I got married, I met guys who led with sex.
Let me ask you a question. I don't mean to cut you off. Tell me a little bit about the first date that a man took you on.
The first date that a man took me on, he took me out for lunch.
To where? Tell me about it.
To a restaurant.
Where?
Where did he take to a restaurant?
Yeah, what was it like? Tell me about it.
Well, one of my first dates was probably when I was about 16, and he wasn't an older person because I wasn't dating 33-year-olds at 16, but probably he was maybe 19, and we went to what would have been in those days an equivalent of a Burger King or a McDonald's, right? And okay. he paid for my meal, and we sat and we chatted, and I went home because when I grew up, you were only allowed to go out for maybe an hour or 2. You can't really stay in a man's house for like 6 hours or however time it takes to have sex with them. You know, you out for an hour or two. I had 6 brothers, by the way. So, you know, I was very seriously guarded by my brothers. I'm African, so I couldn't really like do what I wanted.
Were you sexually interested in this guy specifically who took you out?
No.
You weren't. So it was just
I was just dating, because in those days, dating was not about sex. Don't forget, I'm older.
I know. No, I know.
So in those days when you were dating was just about maybe holding hands, a little bit of kissing. But I didn't have sex until I was 19 years old.
Back in those days, I'm guessing that women were really expected to kind of wait until they got married.
Until you're married, you don't have sex. But I mean, some of the stubborn ones, you know, you can like have something with a guy, you know, but that was it. By the time I was 19, I was back in England, away from my parents in university. So
now you're originally from where?
From Nigeria.
Nigeria, okay. Okay, and then you moved to England, and you've lived out most of your life in England?
And I was married by the time I was 20.
Yeah, and that's it. See, here's the thing. The problem with Kevin Samuels, and I keep saying this, but a lot of people may have not missed it. I believe Kevin Samuels' problem is he's more like an air traffic controller who's giving instructions to a pilot who's already crashed their plane. What we need, more of this message getting to younger women so that they understand, well, what is the current culture like? And we also need men giving the message to men or boys so that they understand what's expected of them. And how should I say, but see, the problem that I'm saying, just like I brought up in your stream, is that the culture has suffered a serious breakdown.
I grew
up in you say change, I believe it's broken down. Right now, the boys are not chivalrous at all. The boys they don't have a very clearly defined gender role. Now, I have a lot of people who are part of my channel and part of the manosphere, and they're disgusted by the fact that they don't like in America gender roles are being made fluid by a liberal feminism ultimately. So what they're trying to say is that a male doesn't have stable purpose in a relationship and a female's purpose can change and whatnot. But I personally believe, especially because I'm a product of the 80s, I believe that a man's job is to bring home the bacon and that a woman's job is to be that homemaker. Now, I understand that women also have to be out in the workforce because of the economy and how things are. But I believe the real problem that we're having is because there aren't stable men and women in the household as parents so that the females can see what love of a man
be like.
Well, what a wife is supposed to be like, what a husband is supposed to be like, what a father is supposed to look like when he loves his wife, and what a wife is supposed to look like when she's loving her husband. That's been my issue. And when I say the culture is being broken down, that's what I'm referring to. Go ahead.
I mean, my brother lives in California. One of my brothers lives in California, but he's married and his wife works, but she works part-time because their children are grown up now. But when their children were small, she was a housewife in America.
And I noticed that you said you were married by the time you were 20.
Yeah.
Now, me personally, the thing about it, I had parents who were basically married by their early 20s, and I was not conceived until they were married. And right now, you have a lot of children being born out of wedlock, and you have a lot of children being born into single mother homes. And the mothers don't actually need the fathers because they're married to the government. They're getting their money and they're getting their supplementary income from the government. So what I'm saying is that when you talk about these young women and how we're sending a dangerous message, or you think that the 3-day rule is sending a dangerous message to women.
I think so, for marriage-minded girls.
Well, me personally, I think that the relationship should be organic. I don't think that it should be forced. It might take 5 dates. It might take 2. I like to say 3. He's basically saying that a high-value man is not going to want to spend his resources if he thinks he's being led on or if he thinks his time is being wasted. That's what he's saying.
That's what he's saying, and he's saying it because there's a new subculture of girls who date to eat. They literally are dating just to eat.
And that was the study he pointed out. That was the study he pointed out.
They're not dating because they're looking for a man. They're just dating because they want to go and eat dinner.
Exactly. And on your channel, I pointed out the fact that a lot of these males, they're so unprepared for even courting that they're coming to Applebee's or TGIF with their pants below their ass, and they're not even trying. Well, it's not that they're not trying, but they're not even prepared with the mentality of actually going out on a date. So the signal that sends to the women is that ultimately they have no idea where this is going. Yep. So that makes them more likely to be mistreated by the women for their resources, so that these women can just get food off of them, instead of the women being upfront and saying, listen, I'm interested in you for marriage. And, so my thing is, we're sending out bad signals.
The reason why I call it a subculture, because somebody said that's the norm. I don't know if it's the norm, but I've got probably about 20 different families that are African in England, and all our children have the same culture as us. They're getting married. I'm going to attend the wedding in June. I attended the wedding in August, the August before COVID, and that was a 31-year-old marrying a 28-year-old. And Barbara, who's getting married in June, she's a doctor already, but she's marrying she's marrying as a virgin. Not that there's no moral reason, but I'm just saying there is still the products of people who come from this type of homes are still carrying on with the culture. Like a lot of Indian children still follow the Indian culture. A lot of Jewish people still follow the Jewish culture, even though they live in America.
No, I agree with you.
So I think the ones that are not following that's why I mean it's a subculture. But the real typical ones that you're talking about who are products of broken homes or don't have that parental guidance are the ones that are doing things because they don't know what else to do. They don't know how it's supposed to be done. They think they're just having sex and
how would they know what's supposed to be done and what's not supposed to be done if they're taking lessons from their parents or their absence of parents?
They need to look for people online or buy books or, look for families, go to churches that have that are family oriented and model themselves on families that are actually running properly, if that's what they want to do. Because having babies left, right, and center, in my view, is doesn't have good outcomes for the children. You might be walking around in the liquor store, you might, be twerking, you might still go to clubs, but that's really not how life is supposed to be.
It's not supposed to be like that, but the more and more of these households without these dual parents that we get, the worse this culture spirals out of control. That's
and the worse the outcomes. And that's why you're getting more babies having babies and more women having babies by so many different men and men not paying child support. And it's just a broken system. So they need to go back to basis and
that's what I'm
start listening to people who come from the proper system and not call them old and archaic, which is what I was called by some of the people commenting on Kevin Samuels show. Oh, she's 50, she's old, she doesn't know what's going on. And even Kevin said, oh, what are you talking about? That's the good old days. Now it's Tinder. You can even have sex without a date. And you could, oh, you don't know what you're talking rubbish. That's not how it works. It may not be how it works, but that's how it should be working if we want to have a cohesive Black economy and Black families.
And that's exactly what I said this on your channel. In order to have proper, how should I say, intergenerational wealth, and in order to have proper intergenerational parenthood, where you're passing down your wealth to your children and your children have a value in mind of marriage and of property and of wealth. What I'm saying is that in order to do those things, we have to get away from these broken households.
Yep. And somebody said, why she's been dating a guy for 5 years. Well, yeah, it's literally this is England, and my husband, who I've got divorced from, lives in Africa now because he's African.
Okay.
And he's So
can I ask you a little question? It's personal. I know you may not want to answer fully. What caused the divorce?
He moved to Africa.
And that's it? That's it?
Yeah, he's from Jos. I don't know if you've heard of Boko Haram.
Oh yeah, I know those guys. Joseph Kony? Joseph Kony?
I don't know Joseph Kony, but he's from Jos. He's from the northern part of Nigeria. I'm from the south. I'm light-skinned. He's dark-skinned. And I don't know if you've watched Hotel Rwanda, or if you must have read it in the news.
Yes, I did. I saw Hotel Rwanda.
The Igbos and the Benins get killed in Jos.
Yes.
And he will get killed where I'm from. So at the end of the day, if I was to go, my kids said to me, but Mom, if we go to Nigeria, we're just going to tell them that we're from England. They're not going to want to kill us. They'll actually take more pleasure in killing you.
So basically you're saying that you and he split up because he wanted to move back to Africa and
it's not safe for me to do that with my kids.
No, I totally understand what you're saying.
And the other option, so we still talk. I mean, we co-parent from there. And the other option would have been, okay, we stay married, but you're living in England. I'm living in England. He's living in America, in Nigeria. We're going to stay married, but on paper we're married, but you're in Nigeria and I'm here. We both know that that's not going to be a real marriage because. So
you're allowing him to date other women, basically, and you are too?
We're separated and our papers are in court and we're getting divorced.
Oh, so you are divorcing?
Yes. So it's taking 5 years because there's a lot. He's from, there's a lot of forensics accounting and stuff that needs to be done to split finances and all that because we've got things everywhere.
Is he financially involved with your children?
Yeah.
So he takes care of them.
He's a real man. He's a man.
He's a real man.
Yeah.
He's a real man. See, one of the problems that we have here is a lot of younger males are having children, but the problem is they think that they can just walk away from that if they don't, for whatever reason, get along with the wife. And the issue is we have child support like crazy here. So based on your social security number, they can garnish your wages. They can follow you indefinitely. So any job, any little bit amount of money you get, any income that you get is automatically getting taken from you and getting garnished, and it's going to those kids. And a lot of males have become poisoned against the idea of marriage, partially because of the child support system and the highly litigious nature of our courts. And they're poisoned against the idea of marriage because they're starting to feel as if there's nothing in it for the man.
Right. Which is sad, really.
It really is.
Because companionship and, having children in a marriage and giving them the legitimacy and credibility. So there's nothing as great as when you go to take your children to school and they say, where's the mom and the dad? And the mom and the dad come for parents' evening. And it's a class system. So the mom and the dad are in parents' evening. Thank God when we got separated, the children are grown. Because when I say children, I'm literally talking about 28-year-old. My kids are grown. But in those days, when you go to parties or you go to parents' evening or sports day or whatever, you can always tell we did have, a few from single parent homes, but they were kind of, those single people. Those children from the single parent home, there was a stigma.
There was a stigma.
On
Kevin Samuel's show, he brought it up. He called it the Scarlet Letter.
Yeah.
The Scarlet Letter he mentioned.
Yeah. And when children have birthday parties or sleepovers, it's like, oh, your mom and dad are going to drop you off. And, birthday parties, your mom and dad are there, or football, Saturday football, Sunday rugby, the mom and dad are there. The children who are from single parent home, they're doing okay, don't get me wrong, but there is still a stigma in England. There is still, in the middle class, there is a stigma.
Yeah, we used to have a stigma when I was a younger kid that and they used to use the term bastard, they used to use the term illegitimate. And I was always proud of the fact that I was born long after my parents were married. Yeah. My parents were married, I think, about a year before I was conceived. Then after me, there was one other sibling, and then that was it. But I was actually proud of the fact that I was a legitimate, what we called a legitimate birth.
And even being divorced has a stigma.
Absolutely, absolutely. Being divorced has a stigma
Yeah,
possibly over there for you,
yeah.
but over
And in
here,
Africa too.
our culture has basically collapsed to the point where divorce, single parent households, all of it has become the norm, and
Yeah,
that's part of our problem. And this is the problem when you make things the norm, and those are not good things or negative things. It only perpetuates itself.
it does. It does. So divorce is still a stigma. When you remarry, then you kind of get a bit more credibility back. But while you're divorced, there's still that kind, like, okay, we're going to a wedding. This wedding I told you about, I don't get a +1 because I'm not legally married to the guy I'm with yet. But as soon as I'm legally married, I will get the +1. So in the middle classes to the upper class, there's still the traditional values there.
Traditional values, yes, you know, I would say, you know, my thing about, once again, with this this 3-date rule, I really wish that sex was treated with more respect.
More
The
respect.
problem is, in my country right now, pretty much nothing gets any respect.
Which is a big shame, really. But my view is, you know, it's really old. I sound really archaic, right? But you know, your body is your temple as a woman. I don't know how to explain it, but why would you just want to have sex with loads of stupid men?
Well, now
some
here's a question for you.
People do. And
I
my children think I'm weird because they are grown in a culture where I think hookup is normal.
you know, I totally understand that. And let me ask you a question. What do you think about all of these females who are on Instagram, OnlyFans, and basically selling sexual ideas
It
for
gives
money?
them money, but it doesn't give them self-respect.
Exactly. So,
Because men don't respect. In the old days, God, now I sound like a dinosaur. But you know what I'm saying is, men valued women before because men cherished women, because men didn't see naked women that easily 30 years ago.
true.
To see a naked woman 30 years ago, for 80% of the guys or 75% of the guys, they had to take a woman on a date. They had to, like, you call it pandering or coddling or whatever, pandering or simping or whatever. But it's not really simping. It was just basically you had to kind of put yourself in a good book, because there was you couldn't replace her with Tinder. So if you lived in a like my city where I live now has 17,000 people in my town. If you live in a town, you probably only met like 5 or 10 people that you could date, right? Because everybody else was either married or you were not attracted to them or whatever. So once you got one, you stuck to them, because we didn't have mobile phones, we didn't have computer, we didn't have Tinder. So your options were not that much.
Exactly.
Your options were. So when I met my husband, it was like, oh my God, I've met you. And he's like, oh my God, I've met you. And by 3 weeks, yeah, let's get married. Because he didn't have a Tinder to look for 50 other women.
Exactly. A lot of the manosphere specifically is arguing at this point that the internet is destroying women because it's allowing them to be hypergamous by searching through Tinder and searching through dating apps for better men, and it's causing them to ignore the man who may be a potential high value man right in front of them, and they're going after a fantasy of a man that probably either doesn't exist or isn't going to want them because he has so many other options.
A lot of women are looking for the man with the yacht, you know, that because I always say Instagram is not real life. Right. Instagram, I mean, I have friends who have Instagram. There's a girl who's on a television show who I know. Her Instagram, you know, she takes pictures by the pool, she takes pictures in hotels, she takes pictures because she's on a television show, so she's a celebrity, a small, like a bee, you know, but she wears all this clothes. But in real life, she's in sweats, and in her real life, when she's not taking pictures, she's just in sweats, she eats chips, you know, she just lives a normal life. But people are aspiring for the Instagram lifestyle, and when they're looking for rich men, their view of a rich man is the yacht, a private jet, you know, really big things. But only 1% or 2% of the population really live like that.
Exactly.
the rest of the population are just middle class.
Exactly. But they're trying to be. They're trying to put themselves in that.
They want to meet a Jeff Bezos. Like we just did research just now. There's only how many did you say? 800 billionaires in the world.
In the world, it was less than 3,000, and in America, it was something less than 20 million.
Right, and then Kevin.
I'm sorry, 20 million millionaires, but in the world, there were less than 2,900 billionaires.
But I think when Kevin did the maths the other day, I remember him doing the maths, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I think for each area, there was about 800 when he deducted for marriage and gay and homosexual and gay is the same thing, and age and everything. I think he said there was that most women were competing for roughly about 800 millionaires in their area. And some of these areas had, 3 million people, you know what I mean? But there were only 800 that were available at that age.
Right.
That women are looking for. So I always say to the girls,
tell us about your 83-year-old, I believe it was your grandfather, because I know the panel would love to hear about that one.
Yeah, but that's different that's just a family.
No, I know he wasn't super rich, but
he wasn't rich at all.
Right.
Yeah. So, but just to finish my point, I always say to a lot of the girls, the chances of you meeting a millionaire that has more than 1 to 5 million personal asset that belongs to him, that he can pass on to his children, is very small. It's negligible. So you're probably going to meet a man who's a thousandaire. So stop chasing an impossible dream. Because to get that kind of guy, as Kevin says, you're going to have to be exceptional. You're going to have to be like Rihanna or Beyonce. You know, they can get those guys because they have the clout, they're musicians. But you just living in the middle of Fordham Road in the Bronx.
Well, I'm sorry, you mentioned Rihanna. Do you realize what her situation is right now?
I don't know, but she lives in London. I know
she's paying child support.
Is she okay? I don't know. Has she got kids?
Yeah, she has children and she's paying child support. I'm sure somebody else follows her more than me, but those are the two main things that I know about her.
Okay. I don't know. But I know that she had a Arab, but she's got money anyway. She's got the Fenty line. She's got, so.
But the mere fact that she's paying child support means that he must have had less than she did.
Probably. Because women who have money like that usually end up with, she had the Saudi guy, but women, it's not easy to find men that earn more than those kind of girls.
And that's that's what I brought up to you about what my point about hypergaming. Sometimes a woman may make so much money, but she's interested in fertilizing those last remaining eggs. So she will get a younger guy just to fulfill
who has
that.
No money.
And she doesn't really care so much about the business aspect. She's just trying to fertilize those eggs.
No, because when you have money already to that extent, then it's only poor people that want to marry rich people, right? But when you have money already, then you don't need the kind of money that she has, like hundreds of millions. You're happy to marry somebody who doesn't have money because you can afford both of you.
Oh, you know what? In fact, the story was about her siding with Chris Brown or something over child support, but that's besides the point. Yeah, I don't know.
So she hasn't got children, right?
I don't think so. I'm not even honestly. I'm not even sure.
I heard her having kids.
Because honestly, I don't pay that much attention to it. I was just thinking about something I heard. Maybe I was wrong about the person.
That's why I was a bit surprised.
I think maybe I have her confused with somebody else, but whatever. So yeah, so basically that's it. I mean, is there anything else you want to say that I may have missed?
So somebody said they want to get on.
Yeah, well, that's their issue. I'm focused on you.
Yeah, you were asking about my grandfather. My grandfather had
Oh, baby. You know what? I'm sorry. It wasn't Rihanna. It was Halle Berry. That's my fault. That's my fault.
Right.
That's my. I don't know why I got them confused. I'm sorry.
Right. I don't really follow them like that. I only mentioned Rihanna because I was just trying to compare her to the kind of women that those ultra rich men would want. Would be somebody who is exceptionally beautiful, but also has clout, because in that instance, it makes him look good that he's going out with Rihanna or Naomi Campbell, or you know what I mean? They like that's the extra clout. They don't want just Annette from the back streets of Brackley. I don't have much to give them, so they go for and most of the people, the women on Kevin Samuels' show, are just normal, regular women. They're not.
What do you think about black men from America who might be interested in African women, such as Nigerians and Ghanans?
My friend married one, and she's okay. They've been married now probably about 7 years or so.
Yeah, because
he imported her from Nigeria.
Yeah, because I've pretty much prefer international women, and the reason why is because a lot of them have cultures that I feel are more intact than what I've got as an option here.
Yeah, but you still have to be careful.
Absolutely.
Because any woman who has access to the internet can be very easily become materialistic, even if they're in Africa. So absolutely. I've noticed, because my friend got one, my friend who's a guy got a lady, but one of the ways he looked for her was he looked for somebody who had no access to social media.
No, I totally agree with that.
She wasn't corrupted as much as those who, I mean, if you go to Nigeria, some of the girls there can speak with an American accent just by watching American movies, and they're very advanced, you know. We do have materialistic people. Nigeria is a materialistic country, but the only thing is we're traditional as well.
Yeah, I've paid attention to the growth of Nigeria. Yeah. I was watching his YouTube channel, Batabox, and I've noticed about the Nigerian Nollywood, and I believe it's also the oil growth that you're experiencing there. And Nigeria is becoming a rich and wealthy country, and I like what I see.
It is, but the women are raised to be hypergamous.
Oh, absolutely. But I don't see a problem with that as long as there's some kind of structure for marriage.
Yeah, the women are raised to be hypergamous, but they're raised to be wives. They're not raised to meet men, steal their money, and scam them. They're raised to meet men who can provide for them and build a family with the man. But they go for security and stability from the man that they marry. But they marry you, they have your kids, and they're with you for life. Just the same way some of the girls from Thailand and all that, they stay with you. They're not there to scam you, but they do want to be comfortable.
Yes. No, I totally agree with that.
Comfortable doesn't mean let me see if I can pull up this girl that married a guy here. Comfortable doesn't mean you have to have a mansion. A guy who's on £40,000 would make a Nigerian woman who is from Benin or that's not from Lagos, which is like the big cosmopolitan. She'll be happy for her. She's hit the jackpot.
Okay, now let me ask you, and I know I mentioned this to you before. Did you have a website or something that you wanted me to share the link with the panel? Because we got about 83 people in here right now, and I mentioned that because I thought you had, when I looked at your Facebook, I thought you had a business for like skincare products or something.
I make homemade skincare, so I use my.
Do you have a website?
I have a Facebook page.
Okay, do you want me to share that? You give me the link. You give me the link for that, and I'll share that for you.
Yeah.
And
it's for women. It's for women. It's anti-aging. So you see how
I have to say, for 50 years old, you look fabulous. Can you stand up and turn around for us? Because we want to see that black don't crack. We heard black don't crack. Stand up real quick.
Shy.
No, you're not shy. You just stood on the camera for like 10 hours.
I'm a little bit chubby.
And how many kids do you have? Wow, you're not chubby. How many kids you got?
I have 4 children.
God damn, you're looking great. Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you. That's really sweet of you. Somebody went, shea butter. No, I don't make shea butter. I make a proper anti-aging. I actually buy my ingredients from America.
Let me tell you, honestly, you're in better shape than a lot of the you're in better shape than a lot of 17-year-olds I know.
Oh, thank you.
Because you got to understand, we have a problem here with childhood obesity. A lot of the 17-year-old girls look like they're 30.
Thank you. I think it's genetics because my mom.
No, I think it's because you're from Nigeria and you guys have a better diet than we have here in America, where you're not eating 1,000 calories for breakfast.
No, I know. It's like when we come to Disney and there's this big turkey that they sell. There's a big turkey leg. in Disneyland that they sell. It's a whole turkey leg. It's huge. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
You know turkey, the big bird?
I know turkey.
Right.
Yes.
They have these big drumsticks that look like they're huge. They're like, whoa.
And your skin, let me tell you, your skin is so natural. Like, what, you're using your own products?
I
or
make
what?
my own products, yeah. I've been making my own products for 8 years.
Because your skin looks so natural.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll send the details to you. But they had this big turkey. Because we go to the States quite a lot. We have a house in Florida. So there's this big turkey, and I saw children in Florida. I saw children like this with this great big. These turkeys were the same size as my arm.
Yeah.
Turkey breast stick, and they were eating it. Little kids. They were, and between me and my family, we could only eat one. So the babies were I'm going back, but all of us bought one, and we still couldn't finish it. And kids were holding these big things and eating it on their own. So in America, they have and then they have, when you go to the fast food, you have a big like 2-liter cup, and you can keep refilling it.
And let me tell you that you mentioned that. When I stay in Asia, because I usually try to stay in Asia about a month or two a year, and when I stay in Asia, that's the one major difference. They do not give you unlimited soda.
We don't have that here.
In this country, unlimited soda is like that's the bottom line when you go into a restaurant. You expect to have unlimited soda.
Yeah.
You expect to have whatever it is. It's supposed to be like bigger.
No, we didn't have that here. And then I remember one time, where did we go? We went to a restaurant that had soul food. It was on our way. Yeah, it was in Florida actually. But it wasn't in the main touristy area. It was in the local area. And it was, we checked on TripAdvisor for the best soul food in the area. And I remember we went to this store, to this restaurant, and it was on a Sunday, and all the ladies were coming out from the church vans, and all of them were like really super big, right? And we ordered food. I ordered for myself, my husband, and the kids. And they said, oh, the starters were cakes, right? Or biscuits. They called it biscuits. And so we ordered, but we didn't realize it was going to be so much. I swear to God, we could have probably all eaten one meal. So in England, we have very small portions.
Yeah, and that's our biggest problem. Basically,
they overfeed.
When our students go to school in the morning, they may have a bacon, egg, and cheese and sausage sandwich, and they're basically taking in almost 2,000 calories for breakfast alone.
No, it's too much.
Because when I tell you, now I'm being perfectly honest. 50 years old, 4 kids, you look fabulous. Most of the younger women here are heavier than you. And they're just they don't, and their skin is all messed up because they got the acne, and not just the youth acne, but they're using these products that are destroying them, you know, and it's amazing.
I don't like, I noticed that a lot of people wear, like in England, we don't do the big long nails, or we just leave our nails natural.
And I want to ask you a personal question. I almost feel bad asking it, but I'm going to ask it anyway. All of that's your hair, correct?
No, it's not my hair. It's wig.
Oh, it's not all. It's it's a wig. Oh, okay.
It's a wig. I actually don't have any hair. I actually suffer from alopecia.
Oh, you have alopecia. Yeah. Okay.
Because my brothers, and I've got pictures of myself with no hair. I'll show you. I don't hide it. But my brothers are all bald like you. If I was a boy,
I shaved my hair very close. One time I grew my hair out and I got braids, but I hated that so much. I was like, I'm never doing that again. I cut my hair like a soldier.
Yeah, if I was a boy, I would have been completely. Because all my I want to show you a picture of me without hair.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I look cute. Well, I think I look cute without hair. Oh, where is it?
You said without or with?
No, I look cute without hair.
Okay.
With no hair. Where is it? Yeah, but I talk about it on my channel as well. Where Where is my picture without hair? Oh, interesting. Camera. But I've got a really nice head.
I'll tell you, if you were here right now, a lot of guys would mistake you for a 30-year-old.
Oh, look at me without hair.
Okay, you still making it rock? Wait. So the yellow one on that side, is that Jessica X or is that you?
That's me.
So okay, so this one
both of them are me.
Oh no, but I mean, listen, it still looks good. It almost looks like you're a fashion model.
That's me without wig and me with wig.
You look like a fashion model. I'll tell you, without the hair, you look like a fashion model right there. Like if you put some high heels on.
I know. It's just that it gets cold in the winter, but in the summer I do rock my head.
Yeah, no, it looks great.
I think I have a nice head.
No, you have a great that's the whole thing.
Somebody said Jesus.
The
wig had me fooled. No, but I have a good head. What do you mean the wig?
No. Ignore some of those comments. You're looking great. If I don't
wear my wig, I'm going to be freezing. It's cold out here.
It's cold.
But I don't know why guys are so fixated by ladies' wigs.
You know what? You know what it is? It's not that they're fixated on the wigs. It's that they're fixated on natural hair. So there are some women that cut their hair out. Like I've had that argument with my girlfriend. My girlfriend says, I want to cut my hair. I'm saying, you better not do that because I like your hair the way it is. And I like it long. I don't want you to cut your hair. Now,
if you have hair, there's no need to wear. I don't understand why a lot of women with hair.
Well, we have a problem here in my country.
When I say hair, I mean these girls have hair that is even longer than the wigs they're wearing.
Well, I'll say this. We have a problem in my country where a lot of these young girls will go into stores and they'll try to steal hair from the stores because those wigs are very expensive, actually.
Yeah. But when they take the wig off, they've got like loads of hair.
I don't know how much of our news you see, but a lot of women have gotten into straight up fights with the owners because they
do wig snatching as well.
They try to steal the wigs. They try to steal fake eyelashes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. She got 96 Michael Jordan. You mean my hair? Stop laughing at my head, mate.
Oh my God. She said you have
96. Stop laughing at
that guy. Fantastic. You know, that guy right there is a problem.
No, stop laughing at my head. But yeah, people like to kiss my head when I go out. They grab my head and go, I love your head. You've got such a nice head. I'm proud of my head.
No, you should be. You should be.
Yeah. So going on Kevin Samuels was good. He's an all right guy. I don't not like him. I think he's an all right guy. He has some radical views.
No. His views are not really radical. The problem is he's telling you about a mindset that men of a certain caliber are already telling that they demand, but the problem is they're either having a hard time finding women that meet it, or he's putting it out there and letting you know that women have to be of a certain quality to date men of a certain caliber.
And at first, if you go to my channel, I've got 4 videos of talking about Kevin Samuel. The first time I saw him, I was like, oh, okay. When I saw the average at best, I was like, oh my God, he's such a horrible person. Blah, blah, blah. I don't like him. But then when I listened to his videos properly, I was like, oh, actually, he's promoting marriage. He's against baby mamas and baby fathers. He's actually promoting traditional values that I believe in. Okay, I don't like the digital whip and the salute and all that, but hey, that's his comedy side, right? I've realized, I've come to terms with the fact that actually he's a cool guy. He reminds me of one of my brothers. I was going to show Heaven. He actually looks like my ex-husband, Kevin Samuels.
Really?
I'm telling you, they could be brothers.
Really? And how tall are you? Because I've heard Kevin Samuels is short.
No, I'm only 5'2".
Oh, you're 5'2". So I think he's like 5'5".
He's a 6-footer.
Well, I'm 6'6". Me personally, I'm 6'6".
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I've heard that Kevin Samuels is short. Like he's relatively short. because they took a video of him next to some other woman, and
but he was standing with Tommy Lee. He was standing below the curb.
Right. But people kept saying he was short.
No, he's taller. He was taller than Tommy Lee.
Okay.
I think I heard. I've never met him, but I heard that he was about 6'2" or 6'3".
Oh, okay. Well, 6'2", 6'3". Okay, that's pretty good.
That's what I heard.
Some people are saying in the chat that he's 6'3", 6'4". So if you're saying 6'2", they're saying 6'3", 6'4". I don't know.
I've never met him, so I don't know. I have never met the guy, so I don't know how tall he is. But we're just going by what somebody went truck. What's her age? Whose age?
They keep asking your age, and I keep telling them that you're 50.
Yeah, I'm 50 years old.
And you're looking damn good.
I'm 50 years old.
When my wife is 50, I hope she looks just as good as you.
I was 50 in February.
50 in February, okay.
Yeah, I was 50 in February. So yeah, Kevin, what I mean by radical is not all his views are good, but some of them are radical, like the 3-date rule. To me, I think is kind of radical, but everything else he says is real. Women, if you're too fat, I mean, I run on the treadmill. I showed you a picture of after I worked out, right?
Yes.
I run on the treadmill for an hour every day. Not run, waddle. I like to think it's running, but yeah, it's for 1 hour every day just to make, women have got to exercise. It's good for your lungs. It's good for your heart. It's good for when you have children. You have children easily. You bounce back easily. You eat well. You don't have too much sex with different men, because if you have too much sex with different men, it ruins your body. People don't realize it, but it makes you look old.
Yes.
Women, it makes women look worn out, and it makes women look used up.
Yes. Yeah, well, we have that problem in high school.
Too many different people.
Yeah, well, over across the pond, we have that problem in high school.
Yeah, and sleeping with too many people gives you women increased risks of cervical cancer if they're not using protection.
Yes.
So there are many reasons why men can get away with a lot more than women.
Yes, well,
with
mostly
sexual
it's because
promiscuity.
Right.
Women, the body is not made to be promiscuous like that with different people.
There's a simple saying.
Younger.
There's a simple saying. Women have fewer offspring at greater effort, and males have many offspring at least effort. And
just going around with all these men, just makes you look haggard and used up and tired. So if you want to, I talk about the high value woman on my channel. I try to tell women how to behave. I haven't started talking about sexual conduct. They might laugh at me and think she's just talking. Who does she think she is? Why is she telling us not to have sex? Because it's like it's the opposite of what everybody's doing, right? It's the opposite of what's popular,
right?
In my view, they're like, we can have as much sex as we want because that's sexual liberation. Actually, that's not sexual liberation. You're actually hurting your body.
Absolutely, and risking unwanted children, risking unwanted STDs,
unwanted children, unwanted STDs. But it actually takes your body. You think I look young, right? But all me and my friends who all got married at the same time all look the same, and we're all in our 50s. We all look like we're in our 30s because we got married super early.
Well, I'm 30. I'll tell you like this. I'm 39. A lot of my female friends are in their 40s, and they're either unmarried, single, and childless, or they're single moms. Because, again, our culture is not the greatest here.
Yeah. I mean, America has many good things, though, but it's just that and why are the men always against the women and the women always against the men?
Well, but I've laid out for you. I have laid it out for you. The reason why is because the men hate the litigious nature of dating, and they don't think that there's anything in it for them for marriage. They've become untrusting of the women and not. You remember I asked Indigo, "Oh, do you have a trust issue with men?" Who are these ladies?
These are all my sorority sisters, like from uni.
What sorority, may I ask?
No, we don't do American style.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have Nigerian names.
Nigerians, all right.
But you see, this was taken when we were all in our early 40s.
Okay.
So we all look the same.
Right. Okay.
Like, because we all got married super early.
Yeah, so no, as I was saying, a lot of the men don't trust the women right now, and a lot of women don't trust the men. On top of that, if they do have children, even if they're married and they get divorced, the man loses real bad in court. That's another thing.
I know, but
so a lot of men are coming into relationships untrusting. They're talking about getting LLCs. They're talking about prenups, postnups, every little bit that they can get to protect themselves because they don't want to end up on a woman's payroll.
And I don't blame the guys because I think the way America is now, and it's almost happening here in the UK as well, a lot of people are getting prenups, even in the UK too. They're following the American culture. Because men too here don't fare as well as women post. It's not as bad as America, but the men here still get maybe half or 35%, depending on how many children you have and how old they are when you get divorced. If they're still very young when you get divorced, then the wife is going to get more. I think they get 15% for the first child, and I think it's something like 10% for the second child. So that's already 25% for the woman. And then they split the rest. So she always ends up with about 65%.
Wow, 60%. See, here's my problem. I've got 2 houses, I've got cars, I got savings, and I don't want to lose any of it at all.
So you have to do a prenup.
Well, it's a prenup, and then on top of that, I'm taking the next step up. I'm going to get a foreign wife. Because I've seen it in my own family. The men who've married foreign women, they're faring off a lot better than some of my family members who married domestics.
So can you see the family picture?
I see it.
This is when they were small.
I see it.
They're a bit more grown now. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my only thing. Now listen, it is now 1 hour and 1 minute, and I know I did tell you because you were on for 2 hours.
Doesn't it look like Kevin Samuels?
Yeah, it does. He even has the glasses. He has the glasses too.
He actually does.
Wait. Was that the young you?
That was me when I was super skinny.
Oh, wow.
How old
were you there? How old were you there?
Oh, probably maybe 36 or so.
36?
Same.
Wow.
You remember I told you I lost so much weight and he got upset?
He got upset?
Yeah, this is when I was too skinny.
But in Nigeria, isn't a bigger woman a sign of wealth?
I was bigger.
In Nigeria, a bigger woman is a sign of wealth, isn't it?
Used to be, not anymore.
Oh, okay. How about a bigger man?
Yeah.
So if I come there, I could take over like a small village or something?
Anybody can take over a village in Nigeria if you have money.
I got that. Like I could go. Did you ever see Ace Ventura 2?
Did I what?
Did you ever see the movie Ace Ventura 2?
No.
Oh, okay. So you wouldn't. There was a king, an African king in the movie, and anyway, it doesn't matter. But I was just wondering. Okay, so I don't know. Do you want to drop your link?
For you mean the Facebook page for my cream?
Yes, because the thing about it is, I don't know how much longer you planned on staying because I was going to
go now, but I hope it was useful. I didn't.
Oh no, we had 83 people. I think at max we had like 100 people. And it's the middle of the day on a Saturday, so I guess they weren't out on a date because they're not taking these women out on dates, so they weren't doing nothing else. But yeah, so that's where we are.
Somebody went, you mean low cut or baby ass bald? I'm baby ass bald, baby, because I've got an immunity problem. My hair doesn't grow. She's got a 96 microgram. You guys are obsessed with hair.
Well, no, but you got to understand, in America right now, a lot of the women, they put shoestrings in their hair and they got fake hair and there's nothing to like really say, you know what, this is, see, the problem is a lot of foreign women and a lot of Hispanic, Latino women and a lot of white women, they've got their hair game on point. And the problem is black women need to have their hair game on point. So they have one more thing, to say, you know what, I'm a high value woman, But
you're not the only one. Even the American girls on my group, they always have a go at each other's wigs. Like, your wig is not well laid. Oh, your wig is not well laid.
The easiest insult, if I was an American woman, the easiest insult is to insult a woman's hair.
Yeah, they always say, "What is that on your head?" Or my trolls, they're like, "Oh, what is that? What have you got on your head?" I'm like, "It's a wig," and they're like, "Oh, but it's not well laid." Well, I'm not a hairdresser. It's so irrelevant to me. There are more important things in the world, like, is your child healthy? Do you have a home? Um, do you have a pension? When you're 65, do you have enough money to live on? Can you travel? Those are the important things in life, not your hair.
Yo.
No, but
Right?
see, you're coming from a country that hasn't been, the women have not been destroyed by American culture. You're coming from Nigeria. The thing about it is your women are kept in line by the patriarchy of Nigeria. So
Yes.
you have a higher self-worth, you have a higher view of yourself than the women do here.
Yeah, and America went through a period where Black people have been very, very severely
mistreated.
Oppressed.
Yes.
Oppressed, yes.
Yes.
So it's not the same thing.
No, it's not. It's absolutely not. So you have a sense of self-worth. You have a sense of tradition, and you have a sense of, how should I say, family structure that the women here absolutely do not have.
So maybe because of that, you guys need to be softer on each other, because you know that you're coming from a traumatic past. Maybe you have to forgive each other and know that we're all like joint victims of a system that did not really serve us, and so why don't we try to heal together?
No, absolutely. But as long as our but you know what? As long as our marriage is broken, as long as the household is broken, that's not happening. And the sad thing about it is, as much as I enjoy watching Kevin Samuel's show, I keep telling you the same thing. He's giving instructions to planes that have already crashed. We need to be giving instructions to planes before they take off.
But how can you do that?
Well, ultimately, it comes from having fathers in the home. However, if more Black men in positions of media authority are presenting an image of what the family is supposed to be like, it gives people more of a chance to be like that. You remember the Cosby Show?
Yeah, I remember that.
And the sad thing is, Bill Cosby went out really badly.
In a bad way.
He went out in a bad way. And the sad thing about it is, the last time that we saw a Black family that had it all together, it was the Obamas. And that was the last time. And even now, they're still all together. The problem is, that is not, even though that's the ideal family, that is not the norm. That's the problem.
But the media is also pushing the broken narrative with programs like hip hop called, those. Yeah. Those reality shows, Love and Hip Hop, The Real Housewives. How can you call a program The Real Housewives when there's actually not many housewives on the program?
I said the same thing.
Right? There's no, that lady. May I say hello to that lady? She looks nice.
Okay, yeah, that's Penny. Penny, say hi.
Hi.
Hi,
Penny. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Penny,
you
Penny,
are so beautiful. You are so
go ahead.
beautiful.
As you, that's why I was looking at you. Your skin is amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, Penny has a store for fashion. I think I showed you the website that she has.
Yes.
And she's in Michigan. And I had her on my show the other night. I think it was like 2 days ago. Yeah, I guess it was yesterday. I honestly don't remember. I think it was 2 days ago, but I could be wrong. But the thing about it is, are you in your store right now, Penny?
Yes, I am. Just sitting here seeing what little stragglers I can get coming in here tonight. Other than that, I'm about to get ready and close down.
You're about ready to close out. How many guests did you have today, or how many customers?
I honestly stopped writing down how many people walked through the door. But
about average.
I had a couple customers. I was able to hit my daily goal.
That's good.
Today.
Sure.
Okay.
I hit my daily goal.
Guys,
I hit my daily goal.
That's wonderful. Well, guys, I want to say thank you so much for having me and for being so kind to me and really lovely. And I hope to see you again soon.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming through.
If you can send John your URL, for your
Yes.
soap because I love supporting small businesses and especially
Thank
like
you.
homemade, organic made. And
Yes.
hopefully we'll be able to work some things out business wise. I can put some of your soaps in my store.
Thank you. They're moisturizers, not soaps, but yes, I'll do that as soon as I can.
Okay, yeah.
Have a good evening, you all.
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
You
thank you,
all.
Annie.
You as well.
I've been hanging
Bye,
around too many
Annie.
Africans. You all.
Hey,
All right, thanks a lot again, Annie. Thank you.
Bye. How do I get out?
I
Hang
think you
up.
just push leave studio or something.
Ah, right, got it. Bye.
bye.
All right, so Brian, anything to say? Penny, anything to say for the port you watched? I'm gonna keep us on here. We're probably only gonna be on here for about maybe an hour or something because StreamYard is starting to tell me, oh yeah, well you're using a lot of time and all that. So yeah, what do you guys think? I don't know if you saw that Kevin Samuels thing, Penny, but basically what happened was
I haven't seen it yet.
he was basically saying that if you go on a date with a guy 3 times, you should be expected to get ready to have some sex on that 3rd date or the 4th or whatever.
Oh my god.
So what do you think about that?
He was speaking in terms of high value men.
So you know,
Right, he was speaking about high value men.
so I should be ready to give it up to high value men at the 3rd date, right?
That's right. So basically, after you come back from the Red Lobster on that 3rd date, you should be ready to drop them drawers.
He said Red Lobster. I'm dead.
I definitely wouldn't be popping it open after I just ate some garlic biscuits from Red Lobster if I decide to pop it. Though I'm quirky, I mean, I would deal with somebody for over a year and still not have sex. But
Well, if
I
you
don't
deal
know.
with a guy for a year with no sex, then something's seriously wrong there. I don't think that one's gonna work.
Nah, not at all. I'm sorry. I
Not
got
at
to
all.
test drive before I buy.
maybe in this day and age, because there are people that I still have relationships with, and there's no relation, it's strictly platonic, and they still. Here we go, Mr.
Petty's
Fantex. I'm
giving
not
up
giving up
that
no
These niggas
sex.
are right back here after yesterday. They're looking for you.
Oh shit.
But I don't know. There are some women that I feel like we're all grown ups. Whether they have sex on the 1st night, the 3rd night, the 6th night, it just goes off of feelings, emotion, and the vibe. I know me, and I just know I'm not popping it.
I'm
I'm
be
not,
honest with
like,
you. If you're a high
I'm
value,
very
if
asexual.
you're a high
Like, I have
value
to have a
man and you
type of
value your
connection
life,
with people
you ain't
before
just
I
gonna
do
go
it.
around sticking your dick in anything. That's just my opinion.
That's true.
You know
Just
why?
like
Because you
Gabe
women
said,
love
you're
to put us
open
on
to
child
STD.
support. Y'all love to put us on child support. The moment shit don't go y'all way, we on
Who
child
is
support.
y'all? Oh my
Women.
I'm talking
God.
about women
Some
in general.
women,
Women.
some women
In
put
general.
men on child support out of bitterness, and some women put men on child
No.
support because they know that the man isn't going to do
No,
anything, so they would rather have the
Love, I gotta
government help
disagree
raise
with
their
you because
children.
the women that put men on child support are fucking bitter, and the men that really need to be on child support are nowhere to be found. And 9 out of 10 don't even have the money to pay child support. If you go and you look at the family court stats,
And that's
I'm
when
telling
the
you
government,
from experience. And the government and the
honey,
family court
in
system
order for,
and the family court system made it easy for you women to do that. So me personally, if I'm making 6 figures a year, I'll be goddamn if I gotta pay you $5,000-$6,000 or more a month. So I wouldn't be so quick to stick my even with a condom because shit, you never know what could happen. However,
which
you
is
meet a
also
person, you
true,
got
which is true.
but when you meet a person, you already got to know what it is from the gate. It's either we fucking or not. It's either we gonna be a family or we just gonna be on like that wham bam, thank you, see you later. That's just the way it is these days. Ain't really nobody running around here looking for marriage like that. Like we are, it's like we want to, but then again we don't because a lot of men, especially young men, have that fear of if it don't work out, and now a lot of young women and older women put these young women on like, don't sign no prenup, whatever he comes in with, or whatever you come in with, oh well, too bad. So a lot of men, like for example, I have friends that went into the military. They got married at 18, just so their girlfriend can come with them. When they got a divorce, not only do they get a percentage of their pension, mind you, the woman was probably cheating while they was overseas. But if the men cheat, we lose everything. Women cheat, they just lose a little percentage of what they was entitled to, but they still
Now,
get
I was in
something.
the military, and I can vouch for that. All you gotta do is be married to a military man for 10 years out of his career, and you're entitled to.
Right,
You're
and we are
entitled to.
entitled.
And John
and you're
had
entitled to
somebody
have.
from the Navy on his last podcast that was, or currently is in the Navy and is going through a divorce, and him and his wife just hit their 10 years. And he was speaking about these kind of situations. And the problem is that another thing, especially when it comes to veterans, is that they get injured, you know, especially when they're overseas. And once they get injured, that's it. So when they come back home, you know, they're not able to be the same way they used to be. Then they start losing their home. Their funds is getting low, and all they could possibly rely on is the VA. That causes a lot of divorces too. That also goes into a lot of men that are fighting for our country that has PTSD. But let's talk about the regular middle class young men. A lot of young girls don't know what it is to be a housewife, and a lot of young men don't know what it is to be a man. Now, you do have a lot of good men that have their stuff together. You know, they have a job, have their own car, have their own place, have good credit or decent credit, and then we run into the scallywags. So we go through the same situation you women go through. But me personally, as far as Kevin Samuels go, I don't know about no third night. I'm going to reevaluate my situation because I'll be goddamn if that one night of fun is going to turn into 18 years or $20,000 or more. Just keep it at 100.
But you know what?
Which is understandable. You know, what about women?
Women pop it. Listen, as long as the money's right, y'all pop it open. OnlyFans showed us that. If the money's there, y'all popping it open in the hand.
Anyway,
All right,
what about women
basically,
that lay down with the, I'm sorry.
Lay down with what?
All right, wait. No, what he's talking about as far as
was good men, but then they turned out to be crap.
You know what that turned, and I'm sorry, so I don't mean to cut you off. I'm gonna just answer her question real quick. You know what that is? That's what happens when you don't know game. See, this is why, I have a daughter, so it's my job to, even God forbid me and her mother separate, it's my job to teach her game. And it's the same thing for a man. Because, you know, you got a lot of you young girls, some of y'all fast talkers too. But for some of y'all women, y'all got to know what's right and what's wrong. You got to read them between the lines. Try to find out the family history. Ask the right questions. I mean, shit.
You know what? You're right.
We laid down with a woman we saw forever with. Now we can't stand her. And we stuck with her for 18 years. So what happens for us too? That's still 50-50. Think about it. Realistically, you have a business right now, right? You go ahead, you meet a man. He just has like a regular 9-to-5. He has his shit together. He has his own stuff. No kids. Perfect. Everything's going well. Now all of a sudden, you and him get married. Imagine you and him having to split your business through the divorce. How would you feel?
That's fine, because I'm in the divorce. I would.
You're gonna be.
You're gonna be comfortable with a man taking half of your income from your business.
I had to.
No, love.
Hey, Jimmy, is that your daughter?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, you may have to take your call private.
I don't know.
No, don't tell her to turn it off. No, you got to go private.
So basically, I mean, like this: when a woman has a man's child, and then they're not together, I mean, there's a two-headed sword, because I think all men should take care of the kids that they create. You should always take care of the kids you create. I'm not even gonna hold that. So, if you're not with the child's mother, child support is needed. But there are women there who will literally have an agreement with a man. I ain't gonna put you on there. You take care of that. Blah blah blah. The moment he get a girlfriend, she throw him on child support because she feels if he got more money enough to have another girlfriend, he should spend more money on his child. And that still happens to this day.
Because I am not malicious like that, because my mindset doesn't go that way, I can't think that way. Though I do know there are women that put men on child support out of bitterness. Though I do know women that put men on child support because they need the government assistance, because they need the HUD, the Section 8, they need the medical insurance, they need food stamps because they're not making ends meet with their 9-to-5. And I've been there. When I first started out in my opticianary career, when I was like 21, the job that I was working for before I started working for this one doctor, they did not offer insurance, so I needed Medicaid. Me and my oldest son could not get TRICARE because me and my youngest son's father weren't together anymore. So
Hi.
I feel like some women put men on child support out of goodness so that it benefits. But me and my youngest son's dad, we had a nice agreement as to why I did it. And even when he pays me child support, which is X amount of dollars, if he texts me or calls me and say, Penny, can you send me this? Like, I swear to God, I just sent him some money out of the stimulus. Not because, he's entitled to the money because he also helped me make my child, but because you're a good dad. Like, when you come through, hey, I need this. He sends it to the month, even though he has already paid child support. And if he texts me and say, Penny, can I borrow this? I need this. I send him the child support. He sends it right back on the 14th. Like,
So you the baby mama from heaven?
I mean, that's the relationship that you have with your with your husband. It's a good one. It's a good one.
And our children. We have a real good relationship. He can vent to
And
me
that's
about
good for
things
your
that's going
that's
on
good
with
for your
his
children.
girlfriend. Right, like when he vents to me about his girlfriend, and I can go to him about mine. Like, we just
Okay,
talk.
so what men are
But hold
talking
on,
about?
so your boyfriend, hold on real quick. So your boyfriend is in the military because I heard you say TRICARE.
No, my
Or
kid's dad.
Your kid's father. I'm sorry, your kid's father is in the military. Both of them, or one of the two.
Yes, but I can't. No, my kid's dad. My youngest son dad does for both, so I call him my kid's dad because he does for both. He cares about them both. He loves them both.
Wow. So of course so he being stepdaddy and real daddy. So of course he's due that stimulus, baby. What you talking about? That's the man that stepped up, right?
He's not. He's
a good thing.
Well, he's more well off than me, so he doesn't need it. But I actually love sending him. Like the other day, I swear to God, I cashed out some $50 for lunch. Like, I like doing that, not because he's entitled to my money or anything, but because I just like.
Yeah, but love,
it,
you gotta look at it. You gotta look at it from a real situation, though. You're looking at it from a calm perspective. I mean, waiting to exhale done taught a lot of women, and a lot of young women that y'all cool when everything's riding smooth, but wait till shit hit the fan. That's what I'm talking about. Everything is all nice and there, like see he's doing for the kids and all of that. The moment he go around that corner and he slide into some little wet.
Honey,
the moment he get married.
Like I said,
the moment he get married.
He's married.
Oh, he is married? Oh, well, you good then. You really are good. You are a good baby mama. That's cool. That's dope. I'm glad to hear that.
They slid inside the baby mamas too.
Now back to these 3 nights though. Penny. So come on now, stop the cap.
You said
so
what?
It's a dude that you like. I said back to 3 nights. That's more than generous. You busting that thing open 3 nights.
He's talking about the third date. He's talking about the third date.
By 3 days.
Oh, the third.
Shit, I know some women that are busted open just because you got a car and a job. Or just having a car in general.
That's what I'm saying. Penny,
you bust their ass right by the
if you going on 3 dates, if you're going on 3 dates, you liking the dude. So you definitely, like I said, two dates is usually the requirement, but the third date, that's generous. You definitely busting it open on that third night.
So like this, since I've been in Vegas,
I
bought my house.
I don't know.
Since I've been in Vegas and I bought my house.
We're
just
all
plead the
adults.
busting it open.
1 second, guys. 1 second. What? I'm sorry. What? Brian.
Ever since I moved to Vegas and I bought this house and the car I drive, women see that and they bust it open just from the mere fact of what I have.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't even go on date yet. It's just to the point. Okay, cool. Where you live at? Oh, I'm living in the west side.
That's probably because
Vegas.
they don't see it that often. But I'm not
in Vegas. Vegas is built. There's nothing but millionaire homes out here. This is the land of low taxes and millionaire. Out here, I can literally go outside of my front of my neighborhood. I can see all the homes. But since I'm here, and the income that I have now, it's a whole lot easier for me from when I was in the military.
Stay strapped, my boy. Stay strapped.
Maybe I should move to Vegas, but I can't be out that way.
I ain't got no kids, and I've been divorced since 2010.
Okay, let me ask this: do men just feel like? Do y'all feel like some women just come at y'all with malicious mindsets,
yeah,
or
they don't come in with good faith?
Your assets and
all right, like this. If you don't mind me asking, how much do you make a year? Be truthful. Be
Couple
truthful.
thousand.
What the fuck?
Couple
What?
thousand. X amount. I'm
All
not.
right.
I'm not over
Are you
100,000.
are you
I'm not
above
six
are,
figures.
are you above $50,000? Okay. So you're looking at a guy who either makes the same or more. You're not gonna give it to a guy who makes 20 or 25 because he can't match you financially wise because he can't provide the same lifestyle
That's true.
that you provide for yourself.
Hold on,
So
no, you changed
I
that
kind
story,
of,
brother. You changed that
gotta.
story. You changed it. Oh, come on, B Truck. Goddamn, you changed that story, brother.
so
She said she don't
so
care. She said she
hold
didn't
on,
care. She
He's
said she didn't
stupid.
care
So
about the money, man.
so
She said it's about the vibe.
Stop. I mean, I
all
know
right,
the
hold on.
average
Let me
Joe.
finish. Would you show the same respect on a dating scene for a man who makes 100 grand or a person? Would you show the same man makes 100 grand vice the person who makes 25 dating?
John, you stupid, man.
That's the third date.
Yes, I would.
The third
You
date is
would definitely
definitely.
do that.
I would respect a man whether he makes 100,000, 50,000, or 20,000. I respect people for people.
I mean, honestly, I've been asking this question around. I've been seeing a lot of females saying they would, but they necessarily won't date that guy who
You know
makes
something?
20,000.
Truth be
She make
told,
50.
though, but you know something? Honestly, I do believe that is true. I do believe that when a woman has her heart broken enough times, or she has ran into so many different men, they will cling on to the men that they could vibe with and feels like they will care for them mostly, and then slowly start to see, okay, does he have any motive, as far as good intentions, and where's his drive? Like, for example, not every man that a woman will meet will have everything established. Sometimes it'll take a woman to help him get to where he needs to be.
That's true.
That's true.
And that is true.
So in that kind of
That's true.
situation, when you're dealing with that, you have to make sure that the drive is still going, though. It can't, once you start seeing that shit, drop a little bit, like, that the laziness starts kicking in because you get a little comfortable, because it's almost like being in a healthy relationship. You're doing all that cute shit, for the
Yeah.
first 3 months, the honeymoon stage. Then after 6 months, you stop buying flowers. I know I was guilty of that. You stop buying flowers. You're not going out to eat as much. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes, when a woman goes up to a man and says, hey, so what's going on? What's the plan? I haven't really seen too much movement. I had my girlfriend come up to me a couple times and say, hey, I haven't had no, and even though I know she says it jokingly, I know she means it, but that's just a nice way of saying it. I haven't seen no flowers in the kitchen lately. So sometimes we need that as men. We need that, push and pull, especially when we got a lot going on. So I do believe that. But at the same time, too, you have a lot of women that use their looks as an excuse to not deal with a man that's making the average 40. And believe it or not, $50,000 is not much.
They call the cute insurance. They call it
mean,
cute insurance.
you gotta look at these women that what I call, or what they call, kept women. They got a nice body, they're gorgeous, and they feel like that's all they need to be. And a lot of men, believe it or not, the sugar daddies out here are making them feel that way, because they're just giving them that disposable income. When you're getting, that Social Security, and what is it, the Social Security, your pension.
That's true. Everything that you're saying is true.
So
I've been
when
in
you're
that
giving,
situation
They
before.
popularizing whole culture now. Whole culture is the one that, give me money, I'll show you a little something, something. That's the society we in now.
It's not even show me a little something. There's some men, as long as he could just go out and be with her on his arms and make him look good in public, that's good enough for them. I mean, don't get me wrong. We know these women are looking the little wrinkly ass balls and shit like that. We know they popping it on the handstand.
Oh yeah.
Just so they can live in the house.
That's what.
But this is a. Go ahead. I'm sorry,
which is true. I'm sorry about that, but that's true. I mean, that's also what women are here for, to help men network in social settings. To look good and to look nice.
I disagree on that one.
You know why I disagree with that? Because
a woman's job is to serve a man.
No, it's not. No, it's not a job to serve a man.
No,
it's a duty. It's not a job. It's a duty.
It is a woman's job. It is a woman's job to help her man when necessary. But I'm not gonna raise my daughter to feel like, oh, you need to bow down and you need to make sure there's a hot meal on the table. Now, don't get me wrong. Take care of your man, do what you can. But I'm gonna make sure that my daughter's also gonna be independent and make sure she has her own.
You setting your daughter up for failure, brother.
You really are.
I'm not setting her up for
Yes,
failure.
you are.
All right, let me tell you why.
Okay.
Let me tell you why.
When a woman is too independent or too masculine, that's intimidating to a man. They're not gonna want to deal with that.
It's not
Well, it's not
intimidating. It's just the
intimidating.
fact
It's
of
aggravating.
having-
Hold on. Let me. I didn't say anything. I'll let you guys go. It's not intimidating. It's aggravating. It's annoying. A man is not intimidated by a woman physically or whatnot, what have you. He's just annoyed. When a woman is too independent and too masculine and too assertive, he just puts her in the box as to where, okay, you might be pretty, I can tolerate you, but I'll never take you in a serious relationship. So that's what you're doing.
Okay, but you know what? At the end of the day, I'm not gonna allow my daughter to be depending on a man 100% either, because, like right now, for example, I have a cousin that's going through this situation right now that, she is very well educated, had a great job, gave up her job for her marriage to be a stay-at-home wife, and relied on just his income. So I'm not saying that my daughter can't serve her man and take care of him and cater to him. I'm not saying that at all. I just want my daughter to make sure that she has her own, because, like I said, like my cousin's going through, she has nothing. She had to leave the home.
Yeah, but that's an individual. That's an individual situation, and let's just move away from your kid, man. Because I know you had your kid on the seat, so I don't want to. That could get into iffy territory. So let's just move away from the personalized aspect of it.
Well,
but
no, it's not. It's not.
No, I'm just saying, I don't because I don't want to speak on. I don't like speaking on people's kids. I'm just, for me, I'm going to speak in general. This is what I'm going to say. I'm going to speak in general. I'm not talking about your situation or your daughter in particular. When one of the big issues and problems is men want a certain type of woman, but then you want to make exceptions for women that may be close to you. Okay, the same type of woman that you want and the things you expect from your girl, your woman, your wife, or whatever, a man is going to do the same. And just because that woman may be close to you or she means something special to you, doesn't mean that she should be excluded for the next man that's going to do the same thing you're doing. As long as that man's not being abusive, he's producing, he's protecting, he's serving all his purposes as a man. That woman's supposed to fit his mold, whatever that may be. Of course, outside, nothing humiliating, nothing abusive, nothing outrageous or crazy. That's all I'm saying. And like,
yeah, but
a hot meal,
be the yin to the yang.
That's a hot meal on the table every day, man. That's nothing extreme about that. That's nothing about servitude or whatnot, what have you. A woman, the original purpose of marriage was the woman to serve her man, and not in a actual maid or waitress or whatnot, what have you. But if and when, for the most part, whatever that man requests, the woman's supposed to feel that, especially if he's being monogamous and only dealing with her. Now, if you got some situation or setup to where he's out here, he can do whatever the hell he wants, and they work it out as to where they got maids or they got whatever to come through, cool. But especially if he's being monogamous and he's a high value man or on his way to being a high value man, hey man, and she's being taken care of, she's being brought along for the ride. Pretty much anything that man asks for, that woman's supposed to give, bro. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
No problem.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Because nowadays we have a lot of women who are working class women and they making money. But when they keep saying, "Oh, I ain't doing all this and that," that's why if you actually look now on the Census Bureau, and you can look on blackdemographics.com, 52% of black males in this country are single and childless because they don't feel like dealing with that independent woman attitude.
Right.
And that's crazy.
That's true. And even me as being a boutique owner, and I was talking to like 5 other ladies. This was a couple of months ago, and I was like, if I was to find my husband, I'm going to step down in my business. Of course, we're going to keep this business, but I would step down. And she's like, you would give up your business for a man? And I'm like, well, my ultimate dream is to be, the housewife and to have more kids. And, Jesus Christ, that was a whole nother conversation.
I mean, on the last show that me and John was a part of, there was a lady there who's a biotech, right? And mind you, science girl, she's very high educated. The moment the last host asked her, if you get married and have children, right, would you want your man to provide for the house home? And she's like, yeah, I'm not. She said, when I have kids, I'm not working. she basically wanted to be the housewife. Even though she making good money now, I can guarantee you she make well over 6 figures. But because she wants to be that housewife, she's willing to let all that go and make sure her man is providing for the household. And because she don't plan on working for like 2 or 3 years. And that's today's mentality of women don't want to do that. They are too busy. Oh, I got my money too. So
no, they don't.
And they like honestly, a lot of women they say they want to be. They say they want. They say they worry about their bag, but they say they want a husband with traditional values, but they don't want to be a traditional wife.
I feel like it's possible for a woman to be a traditional wife and still get her bag. I mean,
it is because white women do it, Asian women do it, Indian women do it. If you look at them now, they all do it. They still have their bag and still have their husband.
I got a Puerto Rican woman that's doing it. I mean, full-time job.
Latino women do it too. They do it all the time.
It's hard when I'm here at 9 in the morning or 10 in the morning signing for packages. Then I'm here to probably 9, 10 at night working on SKUs, and then by the time I get home at 11, I'm not going to want to cook for my husband. So I don't see how the superwoman can do it, and then I still have to provide for my children. Like, I mean, I just feel like a woman should step down.
Well, it's a give and take. So your career right now is based on that. Now, the moment you do get married and have a husband, trust me, I guarantee you them give and takes is going to take precedence. Like, you know what? I'm a kid to my husband. He's providing. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee all that weighs down. A lot of women that you look on Kevin Samuel's show or even just talk to in general, they don't even want to give that part up because they feel like they're losing something when they're actually gaining something.
Well, here's the ultimate issue. The problem is, first of all, women in the workplace is not natural. That's the bottom line. Now they can try to say, okay, yeah, but they can do it. Okay, yeah, they can do it, but it's not natural. The women are competing for the jobs from the men. And the more women are in the workforce means that more men will be out of the workforce because there's fewer jobs for them. So the problem ultimately is a woman in the workforce to make the kind of money that a man makes. Like women always complain that they don't make what a man makes. That's because men work longer, dirtier, more dangerous, more difficult jobs.
Right.
So the problem is for women to try to keep the job that they have and still compete with a man means that all they're doing is demanding that the government give them basically more supplemental welfares of some type. So that's the bottom line. But when it comes to a woman simultaneously raising kids and being a housewife and still having dinner on the table for her husband, chances are that's not happening. And the mere fact that your divorce rate is so high means it's not happening. And if it's not the dinner, it's the sex. And if it's not the sex, it's something else. Because usually when it comes to a man, it's like food, sex, and silence. That's the main thing she's looking for, right? And if she's missing any one of those, chances are he's going to find it somewhere else. And that's the bottom line. But a lot of cultures, they deal with it by having both parents working. And once they have kids, usually the woman takes off and leaves the job and they subsist on the husband's income.
Yeah.
And our problem is we're already so deep in different types of debt that you can't get by on just one income. A lot of other cultures, I always mention the Chinese, the Jews, they give their kids their first house almost mortgage free. So the thing about it, that's the one thing they don't have to worry about. It's easier for the woman to take off and it's easier for her to stay home. Black people in general do not have wealth management and intergenerational wealth. We don't have those two things down, and that's the bottom line.
You know why, John? Because like I say, anytime that topic is brought up, we don't stick together. That's just the bottom line. If black people stuck together the way these Jews and the way these Asian people stuck together as far as businesses, we could have all of that. I mean, think about it. And a lot of southern states.
It really starts with the women, though. It starts with if you can't even marry a woman and hope to stay married to her through the life mortgage, then you ain't got no wealth.
It's almost like marrying a woman and doubting. But you're going into the marriage with doubt. Like you're just going in with the mindset of this isn't going to work out. Kind of,
Right, but we have to start from the foundation of where the issues are starting. We have to start thinking about what is the upbringing
where is that?
And the problem is that you have a lot of young men growing up in a single parent household, which is sometimes the mother, because you do have a lot of single dads too, And what happens is that a lot of young men don't know what it is to be a man. They don't know how to fix things around the house. They may not even know how to put an entertainment center together. They may not even be able to speak up for themselves at a job interview. I have a lot of young men that come up to my job. I'm a supervisor at Amazon. I have a lot of young men that they'll come up and you can just tell that they don't know no better, but they need that opportunity to help them. And I'll give them that chance, especially if they're serious. I'll let them hang themselves, because I was once that young man and I needed some help and I needed somebody to give me that chance. So it's the same thing with a young woman. A young woman sees her mother out in the street. She got different boyfriends, or she has that one boyfriend that's a thug, in and out of jail, cheating on her mother, probably beating on her, taking a car anywhere she wants. So she grows up thinking like that's normal. Now she's meeting a man in that same scenario. So it's like the history keeps repeating itself. And so we have to really think about, why is our marriages failing? Why is the communication failing? Is it being taught? Is manners being taught, number one? I mean, think about these kids. When everybody on this podcast right now, when you was a kid, would you ever in your life fix your lips to even think about cursing at another adult?
No.
Hell no.
Would you even? But what do you see these kids doing on World Star and Instagram?
Because
like
their
that young
parents
girl
are so
that assaulted
young.
that Lyft driver.
Their parents were young. Their parents were undisciplined. But even worse than that, have you seen the size of some of these kids versus the size of some of these parents? I've seen parents.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
With some of these kids will beat your ass.
Oh,
like this. When I was in high school,
and by the way, Jimmy, we can talk. Jimmy, understand something.
And they can run over their
we can talk big. Well, hold on, Penny. Jimmy and I, we're both gun owners and we're proud of it and everything. But some of these motherfucking kids are so reckless, they will fucking drive by your house. They don't give a fuck. Like, they're that reckless now. And these are kids. There's a fucking 15-year-old just shot a 72-year-old in the news. The cops, there's a video on Facebook. The cops were busy looking at one guy who had an open bottle. And meanwhile, they hear AR-15 going off. Turn a 15-year-old kid shot up a fucking 74-year-old man. Like, these kids are fucking nuts now.
That's because, once again, there's no discipline and there's no fear. If you
agree.
Once again, if
they're ready to fight the cops, they don't give a fuck.
But that also goes care about the situation of a single parent home, though. If you have, even if you have two parents that are separated, as long as the father is involved, and that child has that fear, like, all right, mom ain't gonna do shit, but I know my daddy will fuck me up.
Jimmy, if the father is not in the household, then it ain't the same. Just because the daddy happens to be somewhere, it don't work that way. Because the problem is the kid will hold it against both of his parents, and he'll be like, "Well, yeah, y'all should have worked this shit out." It's like, like most kids ain't gonna say nothing.
I mean, let's look at the majority breakdown in black neighborhoods. So, like this, let's say a man and woman gets together, they have a child, right, out of wedlock, whatever, and not married, right? Mm-hmm. So automatically, if he ain't making the significant amount of money, she's going to get government assistance because she wants to provide for that child since he can't. So in terms of that, the government does this literally. They will give the mother a place to stay, right, with Section 8, so she ain't got to pay that much in rent. They will give her food stamps to provide food and all this other extra stuff. Not only that, while you're on Section 8, they will give her free education to go to school. Now, all this is going on, and the man can't even live with his child. Even if they are still together, they can't even live with their child. So, and simply, the government became that woman's man. And then once she starts feeling herself, because now she starts to pick herself up because she had help, she barks at him. Oh, you ain't doing nothing with your life. You ain't doing this. You ain't doing that. I'm getting this. I got this going on for me. And they're basically saying, and then you look at somebody and say, you can't have, if you are a female with your children, your male counterpart can't live in this house because now he's providing a second income, which we have to calculate when you only got the one. Mm-hmm. And then now that becomes a serious breakdown. And a lot of women are looking at it like that, like, okay, I got mine and he ain't doing shit for him. Now, most guys, if they're not brought up the right way or brought up around the right people, they don't understand the fact that, okay, cool, maybe I should go to college, or college ain't for me. So they stuck working dead-end jobs. They're not looking at skill sets like, oh, let me go to a trade school that actually makes money. Most of them guys are not doing it. And even that's hard because all those trades now are controlled by unions, and unions have white people who are not letting black people in. So when it comes down to train and it comes down to brick masonry or laying train tracks, the only thing you're probably going to get in, even make up to starting off with $50,000, $60,000 if you're going into truck driving, because logistics, they just want their money. But if you're talking about I want to stay local where my kids are at, try go working at the union. I guarantee you, I'll probably see it. Most unions in New Jersey, probably about out of 20, about 4 black men are working there.
All right, go ahead, Penny. What were you going to say? What were you going to say, Penny?
I don't know what to say. I just feel like I want to speak on what Jimmy said and what you said as well. Mother and father has to be in the home in order for the child to be brought up or trained in the right direction. The father cannot be out of the home and basically outside the wall, but yelling through the wall at the child in order for the child to get the most effective, I don't know how to put it, raisement, maybe, but
parenting.
Basically, yes.
Or rearing.
Both parents need to be in the house.
Well, and let me just say this, not to cut you off. Like, there was something fantastic it said on one of his live streams that it were, he had mentioned, I'm your father. I'm not somebody you call when you just want something. And that's part.
Right.
If the father is not in that household, sometimes the kids will, that's how they'll treat their father.
They lack respect. They lack respect.
And the issue is
he is not the head of the household, even though he is the head.
But then no. But Penny, it gets worse. What happens when that chick brings in some other man? Because that's ultimately what tends to happen.
Random guy.
Some new guy comes in, and then he has beef with the kids that she had from the previous relationship. And in some cases, the women acquiesce to the guy because she doesn't want to lose him, or maybe he's providing stability, financial support, or whatever.
That's true.
And the issue is that causes nothing but beef and problems in the
and heartache and
heartache too.
And that's my biggest fear when it comes down to me and my kids that not being together, and then if I date somebody so serious enough, because my ultimate goal is to be married and to bring them into the home. That's why I always make like little dates with my kids, and I'm like, tell me how you feel about this person, but there are women that will choose their man over their kids, and if you got your 8-year-old little Timmy living with daddy, and he don't know why. But then when he gets older, he understands, okay, mommy put me out because this man didn't want me here. And you normally see it between mamas and daughters, 16-year-old daughters, where when the mama get a man in and the daughter and the mom's bumping heads, you're going to live with your dad. Like, I see it on Lifetime Movie Network all the time.
Because daughters look better than their mothers, and their mothers are insecure, worried about the boyfriend wanting the daughter instead of them.
Only with black, and not saying it's only with black women, but it's mostly
majority.
With black women when they start to get in competition with their children, with their daughters at that point.
Because black women, I told you, black women have triple I syndrome, man. Intrinsic inferiority and insecurity complex. Triple I syndrome. Okay, intrinsic inferiority and insecurity complex. It usually applies to mostly dark-skinned women. But whenever a more attractive woman is in the situation, or a younger woman that they know their man is interested in, and instead of them checking it, that's a major issue and flaw. The only reason you would get in an issue with your daughter is because you have feelings or inklings that the man that you're with is looking at your daughter in a sexual way, which should be an immediate fucking disqualification. Get this nigga the fuck up out of here. But no, they don't do that. Like you said, a lot of black women are taught.
They'll send their daughter out. Yeah,
that's trash. That's horrible. Because again, people come and go in your life all the time, but your children are forever, man. That blood never go nowhere. So
I'm about to get emotional off of this.
No, don't do it.
Don't cry. But I'm just saying, there's a lot of things, man. As we grew up, and I say our generation is like the key to fixing all this stuff that's wrong, because we're the first people that's actually talking and being honest about this. The people before us, they didn't have the technology and the means or the way to do it, before us. And now that we're here, we're actually having these conversations real time amongst each other. Bounce ideas around and actually get something did to fix this stuff, man. Because it's got to be something that's got to be done. But the ones, it's so much stuff that you're trying to fight against from a societal aspect, and then, like you said, black women not wanting to give up the power and to give up the welfare and give up their advantages. to why we got to keep doing this stuff, man, and trying to basically, you know, run through a fucking steel wall.
Understood.
Yeah, I just kind of look
You
at it
know,
like,
and I
what are black
personally feel
women
like
giving up? If they stick by their man, what are they giving up? Like that's the biggest question. My cousins couldn't even answer that question because they don't want to submit. They're like, yeah, what if you submit to your man instead of
right.
doing all the dumb stuff you're doing? What are you giving up?
They
If he's
scared to
taking,
be alone. That'd be the number one thing. They scared to be
No,
alone.
I
Another
think
thing could be the
because they're
lifestyle that the
scared.
boyfriend could be providing as well. They get so spoiled. They're like, you know, they get so spoiled that they turn selfish. So it could be that too.
that is true because look, every single weekend I live in a tourist town now. Every single weekend there is a new batch of females that come here by themselves. You rarely see couples anymore, but I see
Yes, I
groups
would.
of 10 women, 10 or more come in groups. And you see couples come out here probably about like 2-3 at a time. And then like they go back and you kind of like even people I've seen from back home in Jersey. So it's like, yo, y'all come out here in groups, but then y'all go back home and say men ain't this, men ain't that. And it's like, well, I guarantee you, if you buckle down to one, you'll live doing the same thing. It just won't be with your girls. And there's some stuff he's not going to tolerate. All that twerking and stuff in
He
people's
talking about that
restaurants.
hot girl summer shit, that Megan
Yo,
Thee
they out.
Stallion and Cardi
It's-
B.
Oh my
They
God.
already started.
These
And mind
women
you,
are following these days. That's exactly what he's talking about.
yo, the crazy part, they say all that, but Cardi B is married,
Say
and
it.
Megan Thee Stallion got a boyfriend that she floats all over social media.
That still cheats on her.
You know what I'm saying? They sticking with their dudes,
Yep.
but telling everybody else, you know what I mean?
Yes, it's true. Just like
You-
Megan Thee Stallion just posted a picture with her and her boyfriend, but in their songs they're like, you know, leave that nigga, use that nigga, you know?
Yeah, basically.
But then they're being, you know, coddled by their man.
Hey, Penny, you know who Sukihana is?
Are
You know who
going to-
Sukihana is?
Kiana.
No, Sukihana.
I only know her from Love and Hip Hop Miami. Oh my God, I listened to one of her songs because she
You
said
talking about
she's a
Suki?
rapper.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, real.
That's a hot mess.
Okay,
is a
let me ask you
misguided
something. Do you
woman.
know who her fiance is?
No.
Did you ever see her fiance on Instagram? A dude named Bill.
I don't follow her or anything. No.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna use her as a perfect example.
The thing about her is people tell you whatever they want, but she hope for her man on internet for real.
And
She hope for that man.
her man ain't even a high value man. I don't even think he worth anything, to be honest.
No, he a D boy. He a straight up D boy. Let's
How
be
it
honest.
be though. That's how it be. You know,
But
they
you know
go out here
something,
like
though, we
city
talk
girls.
about-
They're telling you, you know.
We talk about these women and these rappers, but you know something, us men, we did the same thing too growing up. Maybe not us exactly, but a lot of the young boys are still doing it. Look at Young Jeezy. Talk about Trap or Die. Meanwhile, his son in college. Busta Rhymes, son in college. The artist that
Right.
I mean,
has on
they're
Bad
older
Boy.
Yeah,
now.
but they're
So
telling
but their
you to
music
send
has
your
changed.
guns out in the
Their
street.
music has changed since they got older. They got more wise. When they were younger, yeah, they talk. But as they got older, they talk about different things now. They know they realize the grown mistakes they made. So with their music, they definitely change it now.
The thing that
The
you
younger
gotta
guys
remember,
now.
here's the thing. The whole point of you being a parent is you are supposed to rise from your suffering and make it so your kid doesn't have it that difficult. You're supposed to be passing the football to them further down the field, you know, and this way they don't have to go. And this is what I'm saying. It's like, as long as you're leaving behind, say, a paid off house, and you're leaving behind their education, and you've put them through school, and they understand how not to squander your resources, then you can die in peace. And that's it.
But that starts from when they're young too, John. At the end of the day, it's like,
absolutely.
You know,
it starts when
when
you're young.
my
But that's
child.
your
My
primary.
daughter's gonna grow up knowing
Well,
that.
hold on.
everything
What
has
I'm
to be
saying
learned.
is that's your primary obligation and goal. You know, and the thing about it now, see, it's slightly different for you because you have a female, and as having a daughter, it's like you want her to inherit your wealth. If that's the only child you have, you want her to inherit your wealth. But what you don't want is her using it against her man, her significant other, because he may not be able to compete with that. He might have his own, he might not.
But no, I wouldn't want her to be
like, you don't want a woman to ever throw it in his
bitch.
face.
No, I don't want her to be like that.
You don't want a woman to ever throw it in his face. It's like, yeah, this is my house. Get the fuck out.
Nah,
you know?
I don't want my daughter to be like that. That's why I think a lot of people understand me when I say I want my daughter to be independent and all of that. I don't want her to be a complete bitch. I just want her to be able to have her own so she can contribute and be 50-50 with her man. And I'm sorry, Penny, excuse my language.
I'm
sorry, I read the comment that you put up there.
Become, big-headed or on their high horse. So, you just got to give her just enough so that she don't become too masculine or too assertive or,
Most modern women now are too masculine for themselves. They don't realize it.
Are too masculine for themselves.
And I come across them as well. As well. They can come off to me, kind of rough and, kind of scary, but.
Look at Penny over there. She got the gun right there in her hand. She checking the door before she lock it.
No, I'm just locking it.
Look, she dropped it on the floor. Look at her. Look at her.
Look, you got a store. Protect your store.
I'm just closing it up. I'm inside the mall, so I'm safe. We got security guard that just ride around.
I don't mean nothing. Them badass kids coming in.
They ain't got no gun. You do.
I'm in a
nice Apple store every time you turn around.
She doesn't sell Jordan, so she's safe.
You got a nice store though. I like your store. I do like your store.
Thank you.
That's dope. That is fine.
I can't turn my camera around, can it?
Yeah,
it don't matter because I can see right behind you.
Yeah, just you can just spin it around there. You can just turn the camera itself around.
Go ahead.
I don't know how.
You got a section for big girls in that store?
So I accommodate women of all sizes from small to 3X. I am here to compliment, keep them looking feminine, classy, and market their stuff as high value. So
you can say what you really meant to say, transgendered.
No, you know what? Oh my God. Let's not even
wait, if they're transgender, does that mean the dress has a penis pouch?
All right, we ain't gonna go there. You gonna get your
please, because
you ain't gonna go there. Let's not shut down your show. Let's not shut down the show early.
But I had my first transgender in here, and
was it a trans boy or a trans girl? Like, was it a boy trans or a girl?
It was a man going into a woman. So
oh my God, did you get it on tape?
Huh?
Yo, John.
You didn't get it on tape, huh?
Yo, John, wow.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
and because that's not the norm for me, and I'm gonna go ahead and just be brutally honest, I was kind of scared. I don't know how to address you when you're in the dressing room and then you're touching women clothing, and that's my biggest fear when I get ready to expand. I want people to work for me that have the same mindset as me, kind of like Chick-fil-A employees, like
with a little bit of Popeyes.
No,
just Chick-fil-A.
And I was kind of scared because I'm like, not to be mean, I want my clothes worn by women, and I just am not ready for that. I don't know if it's because I'm closed-minded. I don't know if it's because of my upbringing. I don't know if it's because of my religion. I just,
we just live in America where they allow too much stuff and it's getting out of hand. That's all.
And it really is, and it really is like it's just, I don't know. And then right now with this time, you can get bashed for having a preference. Like if I have a preference of dating one race over another, I get bashed for it. If I have a preference on, liking one thing over the other, you get bashed for it. So it's just, I don't know. Right now in America,
trust me, I got cussed out for not liking white women. I don't like white women.
Yeah, but nobody knows what you like and don't like unless you're out there telling people. Just don't tell them.
But if somebody asks you, that's just like if you say, I like strawberry ice cream, and they're like, well, what's wrong with chocolate and vanilla? You're getting ready to open up a can of worms that you don't even want to go through when it's your personal preference.
Like for instance, somebody in the chat just asked me, am I transphobic? I'm not transphobic.
To be a phobic, you have to be afraid of something.
Yes, exactly.
A phobia means being afraid. Nobody's really afraid of anybody. The point is that when you talk about the transgender community, and I had a conversation with a dude I had at the bar, and I said, "What's up, dude?" And he was like, "Yo, I'm a female. And I said, well, I'm not insane. He said, what do you mean? I said, if I see a man, I'm going to call it how it is. I said,
Now,
first I
hold
don't know
on. As
you.
soon as you say I'm not insane, you already know that you're triggering the person right then and there.
But
You
yeah,
already
but
know.
my thing, but he understood where I was coming from. I said, I'm not going to sit there and be like, yo, now if I knew you introduce yourself, like, yeah, I prefer this, and this. But when he came just started next, I just looked at his face. What's up, dude? I know he had makeup on.
What branch of
Penny,
the military were
to
you?
this conversation with a
You know what?
Brian, what branch of the military were you?
I was Navy.
Oh, you and Mr. Fantastic. So here's my question. How do you feel about transgenders being allowed to serve?
Look, as long as you do your duty and leave that stuff outside of base, that's the same way how they treated us black people. We couldn't bring our culture on base. We had to wait for it to go off. So keep your culture off there. Do your job, because the military is about protecting this country. It ain't about how you feel.
Let me ask you this: when it comes down to the military, you know that they have some type of don't they wear skirts for women that can only wear skirts due to their religion, right?
Unless it's religion wise, yeah.
So can the transgender push that as well? You know, like
no,
that's not push. It's automatic. Whatever they classify as, they can wear the uniform. So if it's a man
they changed it.
Yeah, if the trans thing, whatever they claim to be, bro. Like I said, the whole thing with that, and again, I'm not. It is what it is. It's policy. I'm just speaking on policy. I'm not giving any opinion. The policy is whatever a person identifies as, that's how they'll be treated. They'll be due to all of the medical benefits and everything that comes with it, up to and including gender reassignment surgery, which is I think runs somewhere around $200,000 to $250,000.
Mind you, if it's about policy, do they have to abide by that regulation?
No, that's what I'm telling you. That whatever they classify as, that's the regulations, the uniform code regulations they go by. If they're a man or they're a woman, whatever they classify as, they identify as, that's the uniform regulations.
I feel sorry for all the women that want to be men, because the physical fitness standards are way above what females have to do.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. And that's the iffy part of it. If they do that, though, I don't think they have to. I'm not sure. So I'm not actually sure about that. When they try to identify as the opposite gender, I think you may be able to have some type of exception as far as you know what I mean, having to qualify or go up to the men's standards. So yeah, man, it's the best of both worlds for them. No pun intended.
That's crazy.
Let's see. Yeah, well, I see Penny's talking to one of her, must be talking to somebody in her store, I think. But, yeah, so no, guys, well, I'm glad you guys were able to join in, because I'm getting ready to shut down and whatever, because I got the main guest in. I was glad I did that. Yo, Brian, do you know those two guests? Do you regularly know those two guest panel, the guests that were on the panel in the other show, Indigo and Ann, or was that the first time you saw them?
That was the first time I saw them. I actually,
I bet you could tell I was pissing Indigo the fuck off.
Oh yeah, well, see, she was a little bit younger than all of us. She has that modern thinking of, oh, I don't want no kids and such. But at the same time, you can tell she's single.
Yeah,
because the way how she thinks. So I was like, okay, she's like, if a person, it doesn't matter if a person is this. I said, no, that don't how it works, because you're not gonna get a man to take you out and then have him keep taking you out and then be like, okay, cool, yeah, I don't want to do nothing with you. Trust me, men don't work that way when it comes to females.
No, I know, and you couldn't tell her anything. And the thing about it is, she reminds me of somebody I know closely, and I tell you what, she was just infuriating me that whole time.
Anne had a sense of, okay, cool, I know she wants a man and she understands what come with it. It's just right now she's not in the dating pool.
Nothing could be worse than John's friend that's from the UK. That was a hell of a podcast.
You mean Joan?
Yeah, whoever that lady was.
Oh yeah. Oh no. I think you're talking about her cousin. Yeah, she was a mess.
No, they was tag teaming.
Yeah, they were tag teaming, but it's I wasn't having it.
Yeah, the Indigo girl couldn't understand. I told her, I was like, yo, before I was making, I was making 50 to 75K when I first started out. I still had to put in work with females. But now when I started my own thing and my Forex and stuff started taking off, I started making more money. And I bought this. Man, look, I ain't got to say a word. and she didn't have like they didn't like. Anne understood it. The younger one didn't understand it. She was like, "Wow." I said, "But that's what females are looking for. They're looking for that. What kind of deal can I get? And they're looking for a higher stature of person. Now I'm just coming into my financial stride, so my natural instinct is to protect everything I have because I'm not going to lose this for nobody because I built it myself. Nobody helped me got it, so I got it myself. So if a man of my stature looks at it like, okay, if you come into this thing, what are you bringing?
Well, that one, Indigo. So the thing about it, I talked to her a little bit. She was between like educational points because I think as she mentioned, she was in school, and then she's up there in Canada. And I was like, "Yo, listen, hun, you don't know what you're talking about. Let us explain it." And I don't know how far behind the 8 ball you want to be, but couldn't tell her nothing. But you could tell from her face that she was getting pissed off at like me. But my thing was like it was just like with that one Genesis in the chat. Because she kept on typing shit, and I was like, yo, you could cut it out. But when she left, I was like, yeah, good night.
Yeah.
And Indigo, oh, we gotta be, we shouldn't be rude. I was like, who you talk for?
No, you just told her like, hey, good night. Well, you said because all like people throwing the N-word. I was just giving an example of what we call dudes that perpetrate on women who have money.
Yeah, she wouldn't have survived in my chat.
Niggas.
She wouldn't have survived in my chat for even 5 minutes because Penny, we put Penny through the fire, but Indigo wouldn't have survived in this shit for like 5 minutes.
It's a different thing when you have a different mindset. Like Penny has a child to look after, so she's going to be a go-getter and go get it because she has a child looked after.
Got two.
Indigo did. So Indigo did.
Move that sign. You're taking that out now.
Indigo just have her to take care of.
Right, and she still has that. Indigo's like your typical danger zone who thinks she knows every goddamn thing.
Yeah, she won't last like Kevin Samuels show either.
She wouldn't last on mine for 5 minutes.
She was like 24, 25.
Something like that.
The rest of us was at least 30s and older. Yeah, she hasn't lived. She hasn't lived at all.
They feel like
I live more than most.
And we were like, yo, you want to come to the next show? She was like, no, I'm leaving. I've got to go exercise. Yeah, okay, whatever.
It's a danger. I mean, eventually she's going to want to have a boyfriend, and she's going to find that what black men like, and she may not be interested in black men.
Penny, I told you, these guys in the comments, they're just going to harass you. You can't read that stuff.
I better leave Penny alone. Where you from? What part of Michigan? What part of Michigan you in?
So my store is located in Ann Arbor, Michigan, at the Briarwood Mall.
Oh shit!
That's a very well-known mall. I heard.
That's what I'm saying. Go ahead.
A couple times.
I know. I'm about to say you got the ends like that to have a store in there. Go ahead, girl.
Yeah, we did a whole show with Penny. I think it was like 2 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. And she was talking, and we were, she's the go-getter, and we were talking about black men not stepping up in that same manner and everything. We had a good time. We were on there for like 5 hours.
Look, I respect any man that goes out and works and take care of him and his family.
Absolutely. And as far as I'm concerned, that's what a real high value man is. Forget this multimillionaire. As long as you're settled in your career and you've got a roof over your head and your family head and you're making enough money to feed them. As far as I'm concerned, you're high value right there.
Yeah. I mean, trust me, this like when I went live, there's a Kevin Samuels fan group in there, and I went live in there, and a lot of people say, "Oh man, a lot of these men out here ain't six figures, so I can consider themselves high value men." And I'm like, well, if a lot of women y'all don't respect the men who don't make six figures, then what respect does the man have to give you? Like, why don't you just respect the money? Respect the man.
The main question is what are you bringing to the table that even makes you even worth my time?
Exactly.
They always say, look, they all say the same thing.
Are you bringing an intelligent conversation? Because see, that's the problem. We getting caught up with this high value man shit and money, but we're not thinking about the mindset. Because just because you have money don't make you the best man in the world. Just because you could provide financially, are you providing, spiritually, mentally, physically? Are you having conversations with your children, with your wife, or you guys having family, dinners, even going out to eat at the least, once a week? and really exchanging feelings and what's going on, especially with the children these days. Like that, like what is a woman bringing to me? Like if she can't bring an intelligent conversation, as far as like if I'm having a rough moment at work and just going through a rough time, like could just give me that energy and that drive that I need, then what value are you?
And you know what? And that's true, because when a man, let's hypothetically speaking, when a man is dating 5 women, and if he asks each one of them women, what can you do for me? What significance do you bring to me? And 4 of them say, I can bear you a child. Like anybody can bear a man a child. Anybody can wash man's clothes. Anybody can cook for a man. I feel like, it is the mindset. It's the mindset that sets you apart from different women.
That's what Calvin Tim tries to. He say, "What makes you special?" Because every woman comes standard with a vagina. So what makes you special? And
Exactly.
they all be like,
I learned that. I learned that probably when I was 23, 24. What sets me aside from a different woman? I know not to tell a man that I can give him a child, because so can the next woman.
Yeah, that's true. At the end of the day, when you really start being in a serious relationship, and like I'm guarantee you, Jimmy's woman probably take care of the household when he's out busting his ass. I guarantee you that.
That's a fact. She's most definitely
because you said you got a Latino woman, because their culture promotes that. Like Latino women,
no. I gotta disagree.
I'm speaking from experience from what I know, because I grew up in New Jersey and like New York area. That Latino culture is heavy.
Born and raised in Staten Island. I trust me. I can tell you, it's not all of them.
But I'm talking about old days. Our generation, old days. The mamas took care of home.
Yeah, that's true. But they didn't. But a lot of them didn't have to work either. She works.
Yeah, that's true. But that's true. That's what I'm saying. It's like they took care of home. But they still promote that. Like the ones that are traditionally still promote that narrative. Like, listen, take care of your house. What's wrong with taking care of your house? There's nothing wrong with taking care of your house.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. But that's what I mean by high value man. Are you a high value woman? All right, you may not be able to match my income, but what can you provide? I mean, it's not just about money.
Really
I mean, Diary of a Mad Black Woman should have shown that. You could be a high value man and look at where she wound up. She took care of him. Look at Waiting to Exhale. Those situations are still true. So it's not about being just financially. I mean, this still happens these days too. Look at all these celebrities and these rappers. They be cheating on their women left and right. What are they showing these young girls when these girls keep going back to them? Cardi B being one of them.
A lot of them never grew up with money, and they don't know how to manage money. So they just getting monies in lump sums.
Now they released a video of him throwing her in the elevator. Now everybody's so quick to judge, but we don't even know what the narrative is. Well,
the thing about it, they played the full video where she was swinging at him and was trying to take a box that he was trying to get that she wasn't supposed to be taking. Even though it was like a year ago, she addressed it. She was like, "That was a year ago," and we got past that because she was in the wrong. She tried to put his hands on him.
But they didn't do that for Chris Brown, though. Chris Brown for me was a perfect example of how you can be completely misunderstood. Because I guarantee you,
Rihanna was whipping that ass.
Them island women, man, I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Them
she
island
was
women,
whooping that ass.
Quick to put hands on a man.
Yo,
I've seen it, and I know
a lot of this televised content. She had a black eye. They had to put makeup on him because Rihanna punched him in the eye.
But no.
The moment he
Chris
snapped,
Brown was still wrong because he was the man.
I mean, yeah, because but my thing, they did that when they was kids. Yo, the people look like people treated him like he was 30 years old. He was still 19 at that time.
Yeah, but you know what though? At the end of the day, though, you really got to think about just everything, though. The whole aspect of what's going on, even just now. Think about it. Like another thing I said on John's last podcast was, what about when you get into a heated argument? A lot of women don't know when to stop. Yeah. And give the man some. Look, Penny,
she guilty? No.
Yes,
my
Penny,
grandmama taught me to shut up.
No, yeah, Penny. How many of your friends talk themselves into an ass whooping?
Basically, it's when you see Mr. Hand turning into Mr. Fist, that's when it's time to stop.
Yo, hey, many
Take a
times,
deep breath.
look, majority dudes try to walk away. I ain't gonna hold you. Majority dudes, when they in the argument, they try to leave because they don't feel like going to there. But when women be like, "Nah, you ain't going over," and saying it, and then keep barking at them, the boy blow his blood start boiling, and next thing you know, pop.
And that's my biggest fear because I'm raising 2 sons. You know, these girls are getting out here, they're challenging their men. Like those masculine girls are fighting their men like some woman on the street. And I don't want, God forbid, my son calls me and said, "Mommy, I'm all scratched up because this girl won't stop putting her hands on me." And I tell my kids, if somebody hit you, hit them back, but don't hit a girl. Then they're like, "Well, if they hit me, it'd be that."
Yeah, I will tell you like this. This is what my mom did for me and my brothers. Like, she kept us around family who was structured. Like, even though my mom was a single mother, and the father figure in my life was my grandfather's, because that was the closest person that was married to us, with both my grandfathers. But when we start seeing how certain people in our family who actually are about something structures themselves, it gives you good examples. When you start putting your kids around people who want to act wild and crazy, they become the examples. Move your kids away from that nonsense. So when they look at a chick and she acting wild, they be like, "Yo, this bitch crazy." And they'll come to your mom, "Yo, check out what this chick was trying to tell me." When you start moving your kids from out of the environment, give them an example of what a good man, a good woman, or a sane person know how to act in public. Because these crazy chicks out here, they don't know how to act in public, and they don't because they weren't taught. But put them around people, especially family. Family can give you the best example, because you know why? When your kids got out of hand, it's easy for them to check them than some random person or some police officer.
Well, I agree.
And that's the reason why I
That's
say
true.
even physical discipline if needed. I mean, there's other steps that I would take as a parent, but I still do believe in physical discipline because, at the end of the day, if you don't discipline your child, the police officer will. And at least when you discipline your child, they'll wake up the next day. A police officer, they ain't going to wake up. And, that's another thing, too, that it's very important, even in, like Penny's situation, where, she has a significant other. When you have a partner that's not the dad, it's very important to hold that respect for your partner, especially in front of your children, because children see everything.
Yes,
so that's the reason why, for example, like what Brian just said, it's about leading by example. Like I'm the provider of my family. I'll take care of my family. I'll come home, I'll do housework and do whatever is needed because I want my daughter to know what a real man is.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, if your child is not taught, and even if I had a son, that's even more of a reason for me to even go even harder. Not trying to be sexist about it, but that's the reason why it's good to show that so your children know, like, you know what? My parents got upset. We know they had a disagreement, but they know how to cut it down. But the problem is these young girls, man, I be seeing them, like I watch so many situations where guys trying to walk away. I'm talking about in public.
And a woman,
scratching
it,
talking about your mom is a hoe. Now all of a sudden they get black, they get their eye black. Now the young man's going to jail for assault. And I can't tell you how many people didn't pass the background check just for having an assault charge. It's crazy how one bad decision can realistically
fuck you up
for life.
Yeah.
And this is why I say it's very important whether you're with your child's father, child's mother, even if you're with someone new that they're a good stepdad, it's very important to show them and lead by example. Because children watch everything and they're gonna do everything that you do. It starts from home. Single mothers, I feel for y'all. I really do, because it's tough. You guys cannot raise men.
We cannot. And I try to tell my friend girls that all the time. You can only teach your sons how to treat a woman because you know how to want you to be treated. But when it comes down to, like, my son is 9 years old, and I was just telling my brother, I'm like, hey, I need you to have a talk with my oldest son because he asked me a question about his private. So he's starting to get, there. And I'm like, that's not saying it's not my place. It's just, it hits more home when it comes from a
Mhm.
man.
No, and you
And
did
Yeah.
right by that.
You did right.
You
And
did
my
right by
best
that. You
friend,
didn't ask
my
anybody.
best friend,
You asked a family member. So I
my
respect
friend
that.
girl, my friend girl, she is a single mom too, to 2 kids, and she is, what the fuck you supposed to do? And I'm just like, girl, that's not my battle. Like,
And you
a
want to know
man needs
something
to
too,
step
Penny?
up.
And you want to know
Mhm.
what the problem with that is too? That's why a lot of young black men grow up fucked up. Because we have a lot of mothers that are showing them as young men, you can't express your emotion. If I can't come to you as my mother and talk to you, who can I talk to? Hey, Brian, look, you gotta
Exactly.
flex on all of us, man. Some of us are still in the cold.
Oh no,
He's
I'm looking
showing
at
the
I'm looking at
palm
my
trees,
I'm,
the pool.
I'm looking at my
But
neighbor's yard. I'm
that's
trying to see what kind of
that's
garden they
true
got. I'm being
though.
nosy.
Hey, don't
That's
look, man.
true.
Your black ass on your side of the fence, man. I ain't trying to see.
Brian act like he's at like a resort somewhere.
That's another problem with black people. Sticking
No, I
your
was looking over there. I was like, yeah, they got a garden. Yeah, they got a vineyard over in their yard, man. I'm jealous. I'm trying to get one of the rows.
What
But
you
but
looking over
that's
here? Boy?
No, they Filipino. They all right. They cool.
That's what you think. They arming themselves too.
Oh yeah, I know. When I went and bought my gun the other
They arm
day,
themselves too, bro.
every Asian person I can imagine bought a gun.
What did you buy?
I bought a Glock 19, a CZ Shadow. I
Okay.
bought a Nighthawk T3, and I got a what was the last one? The Smith & Wesson M&P 911.
Oh, these
M&P 911. That's a pistol, right? Or
Yep, I bought all handguns. Yeah,
oh man. Oh okay. But what state are you in?
Las Vegas. It's
No.
open carry out here.
Oh shit. Cause I just got me a Smith & Wesson too right here.
Oh, that's fine.
M&P
ain't showing
15.
his face.
And my man Jimmy right there, he just got something too. We're not playing out here.
Yeah,
I'm about to go on base and buy my AR because it's cheaper. Because if I go to the store, it's like $1,400. If I go on base, it's like $800.
Nice. Yeah, I got screwed. Mine cost me $2,300 because I'm in New York.
I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it.
I bought a BCM Recce 16.
I feel sorry for the person trying to break in your house. They're gonna get shot down when you hit him in the arm.
Oh man, I'm waiting for somebody to try to break in my house.
Oh man, I had to go through a whole course out here, man. There's too many laws out here. I got my concealed joint. So if somebody break in your house, you got to give them a warning first before you shoot them.
No, we got stand your ground. That just got reinstated this last
Oh
month.
no, I'm sorry, Brian. No, the ammo's too expensive. There are no warning shots.
Yeah, I feel you. Well, look, for me now, not no more. Now I can go on base and shop on base. Shoot, box of ammo is $20. Boy, I'm about to load up tomorrow.
Yo, Penny, what you carrying? I know you got something under that.
I ain't carrying nothing.
I don't believe in violence. I don't believe in guns.
It's not about violence.
No, I'm
it's about
scared of
preventative.
guns. I'm scared of guns. My kid's dad is
Go get
like,
a 22 with
you
duct
need
tape
a
on
gun
it.
and you need pepper spray. You need this.
Every woman scared of guns, so they get cheated on.
What?
Stop. I got cheated
Be like
on.
Diamond. Be like Diamond Players Club.
Hell yeah. She pulled out that 50 cal too. You saw that hole in the wall?
Yeah, I was like, God.
No,
Right.
I'm scared of guns. And I should be carrying, especially when I do my cash draw in my drawer.
Yeah,
I'm
carry.
walking out in my parking lot, $800 cash, and it's just
I would definitely say, because you have to make personal cash drops and you won't have somebody doing it for you, carry, because people will look for the opportunity.
And you're in Michigan. I mean, you got open carry up there. Your people just tried to kidnap the goddamn governor.
Yeah, you love bringing that up.
No.
You know something, Penny? Honestly, I would suggest, if you do have the time, when you feel ready, hopefully sooner than later, go for a CCW class. Just because you get your CCW doesn't mean you necessarily have to go out and purchase a firearm, but the class can help you get comfortable. Like, speak to your instructor beforehand and say, hey, listen, I have this fear. How can I overcome it? Because believe it or not, especially me, when I first started carrying, I had a very big fear of carrying one in the chamber. I don't know why. Like the gun was just gonna go off by itself. Like everybody, and there's some people that say like, "Oh, you a bitch ass motherfucker for feeling that way." We all have that fear when we have the unknown, you know. But it wasn't until one day I said, "You know what? I'm gonna cock this bitch back and I'm gonna carry it." And ever since then, I've been fine. Another thing too with a firearm, I feel that it can teach you a lot more than just carrying a gun and knowing that you have it. I feel like a firearm can humble you in so many different ways. When you realistically, anybody that's in their right mind knows that.
But Jimmy, you know what? The thing you got to do, remember, she has 2 young male boys in the house. So
Right.
that might, because I have an aunt who has 2 young males, and one of them motherfuckers is half crazy. And she has to keep her shit hidden out of sight, and she has to be really careful and everything. So,
Yeah,
no,
but
I can kind of understand why a woman with kids
that,
like
because
that
you have
doesn't want.
so many different kinds of gun storage locks. I mean, there's so many different ways to lock up your firearm.
Yeah, but the first time you fuck up is the time something happens. So I totally
Well,
understand
that's the
where
reason
she's
why as
coming.
a parent, you gotta, not even just as a parent, as a gun owner, you always gotta be 2 steps ahead.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
them gun classes and CCW classes will definitely tell you.
I mean,
how
even though my daughter's an infant, I always have that fear. You know, I'm always gonna have that fear. But but also too, as a parent, it's tough because it's hard to tell one parent that maybe you should teach your child about the firearm and how that it is dangerous and that it's not a toy. I mean, to each their own. Every parent is different.
All right, now Jimmy, she's in the car and she's on her way home, so I'm really getting ready to close down right now. We only have like 4 minutes left.
Okay.
So I don't know. You guys got closing thoughts? All of you, Penny, are you in an Uber or are you driving?
Oh no, I'm being driven.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Who's driving?
I'm a kept woman.
Huh?
I am a kept woman.
You're a kept woman. That's awesome. Cool.
That's
Oh,
how
yeah,
All right,
bro.
so you guys got. What's the last thing you guys got to say? Because I'm getting ready to go to get off. So you guys got closing sayings, closing thoughts, and thank you, Brian, for coming in. Like I met Brian on the other person's channel, so I'm just getting to know him. So y'all got closing thoughts?
I definitely would say when it comes down to us, we definitely need to stick together, and then like conversations like this need to happen. But not only just conversations, also actions. Actions need to carry out. We need to be the examples for our communities and neighborhoods.
Brian,
And you know, and
Brian's still
and
flexing on us.
what are you talking about?
Brian's
I'm
still
not
flexing on us.
Oh, so we definitely need to be examples for our neighborhood. So when it really comes down to it, the conversation needs to be had, the apologies need to be heard, and then we need to build from there because our community is in disarray and that needs to change.
Agreed. Jimmy?
I just want to say thank you, John, for having me on your show, and Brian, Penny. It was really nice, meeting you guys. I don't know where Mr. Fantastic went, but it was nice.
No, he left her a lot. He'd been on for a while. He'd been on for like 6 hours.
Oh, okay. I don't know where he went, but if he's still listening, it's always nice debating with him because I know me and him have 2 different views on a lot of things, but that's what we need because sometimes we need to be corrected and have an understanding. So I like that he joins on too as well because that's also a good thing. But and all, I agree with what everybody's saying, and I hope that we can continue to have more of these shows. So thanks again.
All right, Penny.
Hi. I love the fact that John, you are able to host these type of shows where we're able to, see and hear people's opinions on certain topics, and it doesn't get as crazy as it would have gotten. Especially when it comes down to single moms, and I personally believe that it takes a village to raise a child, and that's it. Well, Brian's driving now.
Yeah. Everybody's moving around. All right, so thank you guys again for joining me and everything. I'm about to sign out here. StreamYard only gives you but so many hours of use per month. So the thing about it is,
use yours up.
What?
You use yours up?
I see the thing about it is, I've done a couple of streams amazingly this month, and I have basically gotten right to the end, and now's the point where they try to get you to upgrade, and they're talking like 20 a month and all this. I don't really do this so frequently that I'm right now interested in upgrading, but I'll think about it though, because there are some options, so I'll think about it. But yeah, but everybody, yeah, thanks for joining me. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. I'm pretty sure this is gonna get a lot of views because I had that woman who was calling into Kevin Samuel's show. So I'm pretty sure a lot more people are gonna end up viewing this while it's on. But yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for being on, and y'all, be safe. Have a great day.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Bye, everyone.
All right, guys.
All right, guys.
Have a good weekend.
Later. Have a good weekend. Enjoy your Easter.
You. I'm leaving. I can't even.